An island for all. I can add attributes to everything. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 26. The rating of the island exceeded 50 stars. Originally, after fixing the 3 entries of Flash, Nourishing Life, and Power Enhancement, Sube felt that his luck might run out today. As a result, the refresh of the sunflower gave him a new surprise. From the original, only ability users can use it, and it is still limited to fire-type ability users. Even ordinary people can use it. The sunflower seeds have doubled their worth. Abilities are rich, there is no doubt about that. However, the effect of the sunflower before was better than nothing. Maybe the fire-type power user will buy some, so that they can take 2 more steps on the extraordinary road. But overall, the sales are not great. The audience is relatively fixed, and it cannot be sold at high prices. Of course, the sunflower is a black iron rank, and it is at the bottom of the special plans. Even if all power users can use it, the price is not too high. But it's different now. The sunflower that can awaken the E-level fire-type ability is completely different from the ordinary sunflower. The price will increase several times. That's what's sold to those big dog owners. It is Sube's hand with a sharp tool for harvesting leeks. The only fly in the ointment may be that the sunflower is an annual herb. After this batch of seeds matures, the new seeds may not be able to obtain the entry, flame condensation. However, the seeds of the light fruit tree and the seeds of the blood spirit fruit tree are different. Their preciousness is that the fruit trees can be picked repeatedly. The output may be lower, but the victory is sustainable development. One-time investment, lifetime income. Both have their own advantages and disadvantages, and Sube didn't choose, and happily fixed the entry. At this point, all of his 4 fixed entries today will be used. The effect is also very significant. The feedback of the island world is also completed simultaneously. Your island rating has been improved, and it is currently 35 stars. Your island rating has been improved, and it is currently 41.3 stars. Your island rating has been improved, and it is currently 47 stars. Your island rating has been improved, and it is currently 53 stars. Jumping from 32.7 stars to the current 53 stars, Sube raised 20 stars in one go. Such a conspicuous change, naturally, could not escape Richard's eyes. He would glance at the island rating list every few minutes to see if Sube had any new moves. Although he was supported by the Lighthouse Consortium, Richard was still a little worried. Then it came true. The island rating of the Dragon Countrymen began to improve again. And it has been improved one after another, directly breaking through the 50 stars. Richard was a little puzzled. What happened? Could it be that he also got support from the Dragon Kingdom by selling his ownership? But that's not right. According to the information they collected, Sube, the trainee island owner, has no intention in this regard. He did have contact with the Longo special team, but it was only a preliminary agreement. The special team just asked for the right of first refusal. I have not heard that the consortium of Longo has settled in. Then the answer is obvious. Sube, a newcomer, intends to develop the island by himself. Independent development is an option, but the progress will be very slow. This is common sense. But now comes the problem. How did Sube, who developed the island by himself, get his rating soared? How can this be explained? Richard looked closely at the list and noticed a problem. Just now, on the list, the number of island residents in Sube went from 12 to 13. 11 more than at the beginning. There are 10 of them. The source can be clear. It is the Zying City Lord who sent 10 recruitment scrolls. But where did the new one come from? Richard suddenly thought of something. Yesterday, too, there was one more islander in Sube. Combined with the speculations of the newcomers, Richard burst into foul language in his heart. Honorable Crab, that aboriginal has shaken people again. Richard didn't know the secondary split, and naturally he didn't know that the Earth Spirit could create a split every day. Just now, there was one more island inhabitant in Sube, and it was the Earth Spirit who created a split body. Richard just thought it was the original Aboriginal on Subay Island and called his companions again, not to mention how envious and jealous he was. He looked at the clumsy mushroom man beside him, and suddenly became a little discouraged. What is the use of these island world aborigines? Not to mention calling companions, they can't understand even the simplest commands, and they know where to spore every day. Is this trying to turn his island into a mushroom island? The angry Richard kicked the mushroom man passing by. Boom. Spores are flying everywhere. Cough cough cough. Richard was choked with snot and tears, and just as he was about to stretch his feet, a sullen white man walked by. "Richard, stop, this is the property of the Russ Consortium, you can't damage it at will." The man, named Hardy, is a representative of the Russ Consortium. The Russ Consortium is the Beacon Country Consortium that acquired 40% of Richard's island ownership. As a representative, Hardy obtained the identity of the deputy island owner and was stationed on the island. Euphemistically called giving Richard the best guidance. In fact, he came to watch. Richard knew this too. Although it is aggrieved, it is the only way to obtain resources from those consortiums. Richard had a small fortune in Blue Star, but in order to strengthen himself and attack the apprentice island owner, he spent all his savings and owed a large amount of foreign debt. It is completely unrealistic to want to develop an island by yourself. Even if there is a silver-level treasure chest rewarded by the island world, it is not enough. He could only pinch his nose and sign a contract with the Russ Consortium, exchanging island ownership for the other party's resources. Including these 20 mushroom people. Richard was excited at first. He knew the aborigines of these island worlds, and each had magical abilities. In the end, when the mushroom man really came, Richard realized that he had stepped on a sinkhole. This thing, apart from growing mushrooms, is really useless. As for mushrooms, there is no need to find aboriginal people, throw 2 logs in the corner, plant mycelium, and sprinkle water regularly. If it weren't for these mushroom people being able to improve the island's rating, Richard would have turned his face long ago. Everyone is from the lighthouse country, so why do you need to cheat on your own people? Richard was furious, but facing Hardy, he didn't say much. He could only go to sleep angrily. On the other side, on a certain island, the trainee island owner Fitz looked at the island rating list without saying a word. His eyes kept flashing, and he finally made a major decision. He turned on the communicator and sent a message. I agree to sell the ownership of the island. Advertisement. Chapter 27. Island Fragments. Unbeknownst to Subay, because of his increased rating, Fitz felt a sense of urgency and eventually decided to sell the island ownership. But even if he knew, he wouldn't care. Because behind him is the Dragon Kingdom. With the support of the special team, although the force is not too strong, it can also make Subay stride forward. Taking a step back, even without external support, Subay is confident that he will not lose to anyone just by his own strength. The power of the Super God entry system is beyond his imagination. After fixing 4 entries at midnight yesterday, Subay went straight to rest. When he woke up in the morning, he was pleasantly surprised to find that in the magic field, there were lush buds sticking out of the soil. Moonlight vine and sunflower are sprouting, and it's growing well. It's a pity that Subay doesn't have a fire spirit in his hand, so he can only let the light spirit bear it first. Otherwise these scorching sunflowers will surely grow faster. But it's fine now. With the magic field and the life nourishment of Little Green, these special plants will mature very quickly. Subay looked at the fiery red sunflower seedlings, as if seeing piles of banknotes. These scorching sunflowers can awaken E-level fire-type abilities, which will inevitably cause a sensation in the market. And he can make a lot of money, buy more special plants, and further expand his advantage. However, the sale of the sunflower is a one-shot deal, and if the subsequent seeds do not get an entry similar to flame condensation, he will not be able to stably produce the special sunflower. Therefore, in terms of income, we have to look at the fruit tree with light and the fruit tree with blood spirit. The seeds of the blood spirit fruit tree grow extremely fast. After superimposing the magic field and life nourishment, they have begun to germinate in just 2 days. The seedling was only about 2 centimeters long, but it made Sube smile with satisfaction. This thing grows up. It is the real cash cow. The seeds of the hangwang fruit tree next to them have not moved yet, and it is estimated that it will take a few days to germinate. Mainly its entry is to enhance the fruit effect, not to speed up the growth. This matter can't be rushed. Hangwang fruit trees are long-term output, and it's not a big problem to be slow. The light-bearing fruit tree with the entry, power enhancement, the light-bearing fruit produced can awaken deal-level powers, which is more valuable than the special sunflower. The price difference is at least 10 times. Grow slowly, and use high quality to make up for the lack of quantity. Moreover, the rare is the most expensive, and it is convenient for Sube to sit on the ground and start the price. In addition to these special plants, the ordinary plants next to them are called fierce. The seedlings of the rice and wheat planted on the first day have risen by 20 centimeters. The island world itself has abundant life energy, which is suitable for plant growth. Coupled with the life nourishment and catalysis of magic field and little green, these ordinary plants will mature within 20 days. Such speed is a miracle. On Earth, it is completely unimaginable. However, it is such an exaggerated growth efficiency that can keep Blue Star's material consumption in balance. Otherwise, the rapidly growing population would have eaten up Blue Star long ago. After feeling the magic of the island world for a while, Sube took Al-Shan and the Longian sword on his back and started to patrol the island. Although there is a stereo detection, he can sleep peacefully without any problems. But you have to find something to do. As for the small flash, it is also just in case. The scope of three-dimensional detection is limited to islands, and it is not possible to detect the surrounding movements in advance. It is reasonable to carry a flash bomb with you. And Al-Shan has no objection at all, and it's not even too late to be happy. As a light spirit, it can fly, hovering and dancing around Sube, very happy. Your Majesty asked me to patrol the mountain. Sube hummed hometown tunes and marched on the beach. Walking on, Sube stopped, reached out and wiped his eyes, looking at the ocean in the distance. He seemed to see a dark shadow. It's a pity it's too far away to see the real thing. Little Flash, can you see what's there? Sube pointed to the distance and said. Al-Shan fluttered his wings, put his little hands in front of his head, and made a gesture of looking out. Then there was an unintelligible sound. However, Sube successfully grasped its meaning. You mean, there's a big black rock there? Sube was a little confused, thought about it and asked, is it similar to our island? Shan nodded his head quickly, and then shook his head again, indicating that the stone was a little smaller than the island. Sube was a little excited. If he guessed right, it wasn't some rock. But island fragments. At the same time, there was also feedback from the heart of the island. It feels an inexplicable attraction in the distance. At this point, Sube was absolutely sure that the black shadow he saw just now was a fragment of an island floating in the ocean. It was a pleasant surprise. Sube glanced at his attribute panel. Name, Sube identity, trainee island master level, black iron lower skill, no equipment, dragon blade, wind leather armor. Island area, 1 square kilometer. Number of residents, 13. Island rating, 53 stars. The biggest changes in overall attributes are the number of residents and the island rating. Not a little or two more than at the beginning. But there was no movement. Such as the size of an island. Although today is Sube's third day as a trainee island owner, he can't wait to expand the island. With the earth spirit and its little friends there, no amount of seeds can be sown. There are also water spirits and light spirits escorting them to ensure germination. Coupled with the support provided by the follow-up special task force. Sube's islands will soon run out. But it is not so easy to expand the area of the island. Now, with island fragments floating around, Sube is sure not to miss it. But the question arises, how should he get the island fragment? That thing is not a fish. You can catch it with a fishing rod. His island can't take the initiative to join up, and there is no such function for the time being. Sube thought about it and found that the only way was to wait in place. Sube sighed in the sky. If there was a mythical entry at this time, which could allow him to absorb the fragments of the island from the air, It would be a beautiful thing. Just when Subei thought he was going to pass by the fragments of the island, a huge black shadow appeared in the distance. The fragments of the island rushed towards his island, riding the wind and waves. This is not the point. The key is Subei's eagle-eyed discovery. On the edge of the island fragment, there seemed to be a bunch of monsters gathered, staring at him and drooling. Advertisement: if you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 28. Sir, times have changed. Flash bang. After the fragment of the island approached another 100 meters, Subei could see the monsters completely. First, they are not ironclad lizards. Generally speaking, those monsters are similar to goblins, but their skin is gray and very rough, and they are about 1 meter 2 in height. Sharp teeth protrude from their lips, and there are even strips of meat hanging from them. These monsters hold a variety of weapons in their hands. There were sticks, there were bones, and there was even one holding a snake. But it doesn't look like it was a specially chosen weapon. Because Subei could see, it was fighting the snake. Name: Grayskin Caveman. Level: Black Iron. Intermediate skills: 1. Digging holes. 2. Throwing proficient. 3. Night vision. Description: a race with no fixed place, often taking island fragments to loot everywhere. Subei was startled. Could it be that the appearance of the island fragment was not accidental, but that these grayskin cavemen used the island fragment as a boat, and then became pirates in the island world? Although it seems strange. However, based on the current situation, it seems that this is the only possibility. Otherwise, it can't explain how the island fragments rushed straight towards his island. Even the complete heart of the island has a natural adsorption force for island fragments, but it also needs time to catalyze. Simply put, the process is very slow and you need to wait slowly. If all the fragments of the island had the speed of the one in front of them, many islands would be considered as burning incense if they were not smashed, let alone expanding their area. It is indeed a magical island world. Subei sighed in his heart and clenched the Longian sword tightly. I didn't kill monsters for a day. I felt uncomfortable. Little Flash, go up. I don't tell you not to come down. Subei gave the order. Although Zhao was worried, she obeyed obediently, clenching her small fists in midair. It only hates why it is so small, and if it grows a little more, it can kill all these hateful invaders. After making preparations, Subei took a deep breath. There were 8 grayskin cavemen on the island fragment? No, 7 now. The snake player was already foaming on the ground. But even so, there is a lot of pressure. These gray-skinned cavemen are all black iron intermediates. And Subei now only has black iron subordinates. The numbers are still at an absolute disadvantage. 1 fight 7. Most people can't do it. To be honest, if Subei didn't have the entry to kill the gods, he would have already considered running away with a bucket. But now, Subei has only one thought. Kill. Boom. With a loud noise, the island fragments collided with the edge of the island. At the same time, the three-dimensional detection of the heart of the island also issued a warning, and 7 red dots appeared. Subei took a deep breath, exerted force on his calf, and rushed out in a straight line. The Longian saber in his hand flashed past, and cut off the gray-skinned caveman in front of him. The purple blood sprayed freely, dyeing the gray-skinned caveman next to him into a new color. The death of the companion deeply stimulated the remaining 6 gray-skinned cavemen, who locked on Subei's position, waved their weapons, and walked away at various parts of his body. The grayskin cavemen of the intermediate level of the black iron are much stronger than the iron-armored lizards of the lower level of the black iron. Their strength and defense may be lacking, but their agility is very high. Long-term fighting has also sharpened their fighting instincts. Subei's charge had just hacked to death a grayskin caveman, and the rest reacted and attacked. Seeing this, Subei could only turn back and retreat to avoid being hit. He had no interest in testing the grayskin caveman's attack power with his body. As soon as Subei retreated, The gray-skinned caveman immediately let out a smug howl and chased after the victory. They floated in the seawater for half a month, and their long-starved eyes turned green. Now that I found an island with no defensive power, I naturally made up my mind to have a good time. They will not let go of every piece of flesh and blood of this human being. Just before the gray-skinned caveman could achieve victory, Subei turned around and shouted at the same time. Little Flash, use burst. Now, Shan, who had been waiting for a long time, immediately lowered her height, and the energy in her body surged wildly. The gray-skinned caveman felt the energy fluctuations and looked up subconsciously. Are there ambulances? The gray-skinned caveman didn't see the ambush, but felt a light he had never seen before. Then there is boundless darkness. As an epic entry, Flash has a new ability for exhaustion, urging energy to be deployed, and the effect is stronger than flash bombs. When Subei turned around, he felt a little unable to open his eyes, not to mention the gray-skinned caveman who stared straight at him. The gray-skinned caveman had never seen this trick before, and went blind on the spot. They whimpered and rolled on the ground, tears streaming from their eyes. In a panic, the gray-skinned cavemen began to attack indiscriminately. But apart from battering friendly forces, it didn't work at all. Subei turned around, caught Shan, who was a little weak, put it in his pocket, and then took the Longian sword and stabbed it one by one. Puff puff. Purple blood ran on the sand, and the gray-skinned caveman's head gurgled. Ding. With a crisp sound, Subei paused for a while, and cut through the flesh and blood of the gray-skinned caveman with a dragon yin knife. Next to his heart, he found a spar the size of a ping-pong ball, magic chi crystal, the crystal formed by the island world's creatures under the influence of the magical energy, which contains rich energy and can be directly absorbed to enhance strength. Subei was not surprised to see the properties of this spar. After activating the system, he also obtained this additional ability, which is very convenient. What made him care was the origin of this thing. Creatures in the island world are only condensed under the influence of magic energy. What is magic? As if never heard of it. Subei's heart skipped a beat. Could this be the transformation of the island world that Shen Qingling was talking about? Then this should not be called a change, it should be called a crisis. To be on the safe side, Subei connected to the island world network to check the information. The crystal of magic energy is a unique product of the island world, but the aborigines here do not know the origin of this thing. It seems to involve the lost history of the island world. It is certain that this thing will only appear in the monster's body. The so-called magic energy will affect the minds of creatures in the island world, making them monsters that only know how to kill. Ordinary people cannot absorb the magic crystals, but the island owner can absorb them, thus speeding up the level improvement. Looking at the information, Subei nodded secretly. There is nothing wrong with this magic crystal. It's even useful. After all, the system has also determined that this thing can be absorbed directly. Subei's eyes became a little hot at the thought of being able to level up. If you upgrade again, can you increase the fixed number of entries? Advertisement. Chapter 29. Black Iron Intermediate. As the old saying goes, practice is the only test of truth. If you want to know if upgrading can increase the fixed number of entries, the easiest way to test is to absorb this magic crystal. Anyway, the system also said that this thing can be absorbed directly, so there is nothing to worry about. As for how to absorb it, the information found by Subei also explained in detail. It's very simple. Put it in the palm of your hand, and resonate with the energy in the crystal. You can absorb it. Subei quickly found the trick. Immediately, he felt the cold breath pouring into his body along his palm. Where the breath flows, there is soon a heat flow. With Subei's control over his body, he could clearly feel that the muscles there became stronger and the bone density increased. Subei kept breathing steadily and felt it carefully. And the magic energy crystal in his hand began to shrink at a speed visible to the naked eye. Shan sticks his head out of his pocket and observes curiously. Subei couldn't help but smile. This little guy's facial features are not fully formed, and I don't know if he can see it or not. It should be possible. At least they can perceive the surrounding situation. Otherwise how can they survive in the island world? Subei rubbed Xiao-Shan's head with his fingers, and then continued to absorb the magic energy crystals. Although the name of this thing is bluffing, It has a positive effect on the island owner. It's amazing. After a while, the cold feeling dissipated. Sube looked down and found that the crystal of magic energy no longer existed, smacking his lips regretfully. He thought how rich the energy and it was, but it was sucked dry in a while. Fortunately, the effect is also visible. Sube's five senses have improved to a certain extent. His ears are clear and his eyesight is clear, and he can't hide the troubles around him. Open the panel. No surprise, he is already an intermediate black iron. The gray-skinned caveman of the black iron intermediate level, the magic energy crystals in his body made him upgrade from the black iron lower level to the black iron intermediate level. This is reasonable. Ding. The level of the host increases, and the number of daily entries is increased by 1. Sube gave a satisfied smile. Very good. His island development speed has accelerated again. But this time Sube doesn't need a fixed entry, so he just keeps it. After playing for a while holding the Dragon Yin sword, Sube pondered for a moment and sent a message to Shen Qingling. After getting familiar with the current power, Grayskin Caveman not accepting it soon, Shen Qingling responded, "Yes, their nails can be used as medicine, and a piece of nails is 500. Did you meet the Grayskin Caveman? There are several." Seeing this information, Sube couldn't help but look at the gray-skinned caveman corpses on the ground. His eyes stopped at their fingertips, and then quickly moved away. Man, how long has it been since I washed my hands? So sloppy. The black mud in the fingernails overflowed. Can this thing be used as medicine? Are you sure you won't eat dead people? But Sube wisely didn't ask more. Just as Shen Qingling didn't ask him if he was in danger. Not necessary. Sube replied with a message. 8. All fingernails are there, on a certain island. A young woman rolled her eyes in shock and glanced at the chat records. That's right, 8. She is Shen Qingling. Before Sube replied, Shen Qingling thought he only met 3 or 2, but it turned out to be 8. How did he do that? As the island owner, Shen Qingling knew very well the strength of the grayskin caveman. For her, it must be slapped to death. But Sube is a newcomer, and it only takes 3 days to become a trainee island owner. As a result, he was able to kill 8 gray-skinned cavemen, which made Shen Qingling somewhat incomprehensible. After she became a trainee island owner back then, she was lucky, and the monster invasions she encountered were on a small scale of 2 or 3. It was not until after a certain amount of power that they encountered a massive invasion of monsters. But it is not so easy to kill the 8 grayskin cavemen Sube met now. And also 1. Judging from his tone, he seemed to be very relaxed. Outrageous. Shen Qingling was thoughtful. From this point of view, it seems reasonable that the special team attaches great importance to Sube. Compared with other newcomers, his performance initially showed a crushing trend. If nothing else, at least his own combat power. Ordinary black iron is not an opponent at all. Shen Qingling suddenly remembered what Zi Liangbing told her. Facing that young man, I actually felt powerless to fight. Shen Qingling didn't believe it before and felt that Zi Liangbing made a mistake in his judgment. Although Zi Liangbing is not the island owner, but he is also a serious bronze-level ability user, how can he not be the trainee island owner? But now, Shen Qingling believed the corpses of 8 gray-skinned cavemen are the best evidence. Concentrating his mind, Shen Qingling saw that Sube put the gray-skinned caveman's finger in the trading column. 48 in total. The reason for this number is that the gray-skinned caveman has only 3 fingers on both hands. 48 pieces of nails, the total price of 24,000. Shen Qingling directly put a star chrysanthemum seedling on it. After the 2 sides confirmed the transaction, a bloody finger appeared in front of Shen Qingling. She picked up one and looked closely. The fracture is very flat, and it can even be said that it is too flat. There is no doubt that Sube has a sharp blade in his hand. Bronze, no, at least silver. Shen Qingling's eyes were vicious, and she made an accurate judgment from the fracture alone. And this made her even more shocked. Newcomer, silver level weapon. This is which rich kid came to experience life. No, rich kids don't have such luxury. In addition, according to the investigation by the special team, Sube grew up in a welfare center, and his background is very ordinary. even a little shabby. Before entering the island world, he refused the investment of the consortium, and came with standard equipment. As a result, now he has acquired a silver-level weapon from nowhere. Shen Qingling was a little crazy. How the hell did he do it? Did you pick it up? Impossible. Isn't this luck too bad? Why didn't she find it? Shen Qingling was very confused. She wanted to know the reason, but she also knew that there was no way she could ask. So even more depressed. She must be losing sleep tonight. Su Bei. Shen Qingling gritted his teeth and muttered something. It's all because of this guy. At this time, Su Bei naturally did not know that a few words of his own made Shen Qingling sleepless all night. He just kicked the grayskin caveman's body back into the sea. Then it was discovered that the island fragments were merging with his island. Advertisement Chapter 30 The Golden Lemon Tree. One of the ways Su Bei knows to increase the size of the island is to fuse island fragments. But I haven't seen it with my own eyes. But now I see it. How can I put it? The whole process is like kneading plasticine. The contact area between the island fragments and the island became soft and fluid, and then began to merge with each other. Pieces are stretched and spread out along the sand. It's like adding a side to the island, rather than a simple and crude point-to-point connection, or stretching and expanding the existing island. The current form of expansion is more reasonable. It will not make the new area into an enclave, nor will it destroy the landform of the original island, affecting the area that is already cultivated. The process of integration is neither fast nor slow. After about an hour or so, a large area of new land appeared in front of Su Bei. While the sand was still in place, it wasn't a big deal. Su Bei has called the earth spirit over, and with it, the sand will soon be moved to the edge of the island. Su Bei couldn't wait to open the panel. Name, Su Bei Identity, Trainee Island Master Level, Black Iron Intermediate Skill, No Equipment, Dragon Blade, Wind Leather Armor. Island Area, 1.2 square kilometers. Number of residents, 13. Island Rating, 73 stars. The focus is on the bottom 3 lines of information. The area has increased by 0.2 square kilometers, and the rating has soared by a full 20 stars. Su Bei did the math. Good guy. If you get 1 square kilometer of new land, wouldn't it just add 100 stars directly? Su Bei couldn't help but look forward to some more island shards when he took off. Getting new land will increase the rating, and when it is full of plants, the rating will go up, which is great. Concentrating, Su Bei walked to a new area and began to check the environment. The sea snake that killed a gray-skinned caveman before has slipped away, otherwise Su Bei would like to try. What kind of entry can that thing generate? Since it slips away, let it go, and it can be considered that they have fought together. When the fragments of the island were approaching, Su Bei found 2 tall trees. Not coconut palms. At that time, I was patronizing the alert grayskin caveman, and I didn't have time to see it. Now that the island fragments have been merged into his island, the 2 big trees are his property. Approaching closer, the relevant attributes appear in the field of vision. Golden lemon tree, low-grade black iron, can produce golden lemons after maturity. Long-term consumption can be beautiful. Su Bei was startled. Not only is it a special plant of the black iron level, but it is also an adult plant. This is simply a windfall. When Su Bei excitedly looked up and wanted to earn a little more, his nose was crooked with anger. Not a single lemon. Not to mention ripe lemons. Not even half-ripe ones. Thinking of the green eyes of the gray-skinned caveman at the beginning, Su Bei reacted. Those lemons, raw or ripe, were all eaten by the gray-skinned caveman. Fortunately, they didn't gnaw the bark, otherwise the lemon tree wouldn't be able to keep it. Su Bei raised his head and sighed. Big loss. But something is better than nothing. Su Bei also called over the 2 earth spirit splits, and asked them to cooperate with the earth spirit to transfer the 2 golden lemon trees to the magic field. Walking on the road, Su Bei refreshed the 2 trees separately. This is an adult plant of the black iron level, which can directly generate income. He has another chance to fix the entry, so naturally he doesn't need to refresh in batches. The slightly taller golden lemon trees are refreshed first. 3 entries appeared in Su Bei's field of vision. 2 white and 1 green. The effect is very general, pass directly. The second golden lemon tree is better. 1 white, 1 green and 1 green, very uniform. They are the ordinary grade, increased sourness, the excellent grade, full fruit, and the rare grade, youth perpetually. From a combat perspective, all 3 entries are meaningless. But the original effect of the golden lemon is not to go in the direction of supernatural power, its effect is to beautify the face. Of the 3 entries, 1 is rare, so how to choose is self-evident. Remaining youthful, rare level, strengthens the cosmetic effect of golden lemon, and upgrades the item level to the best black iron. The golden lemon itself is not worrying about sales, and now the effect has been improved, and it is even hotter. A little packaging, selling a high price is not a problem. Let Zialu come over and release life nourishment against the 2 golden lemon trees. Sube is delighted to see that the branches are restored and the leaves become more and more emerald green. Although the previous lemon has been brutally murdered, with the blessing of the magic field and life nourishment, it will soon bear new fruits. While the golden lemon tree fixed the entry, it also made Sube's island rating rise again. Your island rating has been improved, and it is currently 77.5 stars. Sube is in a good mood. Wait until tomorrow to brush the entry of the 2nd golden lemon tree, maybe it can be improved. On the other hand, Richard's expression was gloomy and dripping with water. He was determined to pull Sube down from the top of the island rating list, only to find that the gap between the 2 sides widened again. The sudden increase in the size of the island made Richard restless. He knew very well that if he couldn't increase the size of his island in time, the gap between him and Sube would completely widen and he would never catch up. Everyone's initial island is that big. After all plants are planted, the island's rating will reach the bottleneck and it will be difficult to rise. At this time, it is very important to increase the area of the island. With new land, more plants can be grown. But the size of the island is not something that can be added if you want. Richard angrily kicked the mushroom man who flew by and cursed, "Damn, that newcomer from the Dragon Kingdom cheated." When Hadi heard the news, he saw the mushroom man in the corner, and a haze flashed in his eyes. However, Richard's words made his heart tighten. He checked the communicator and found out the whole story. Hardy's expression also sank. Isn't the luck of the newcomer of the Dragon Kingdom a little better? The island fragments were obtained so quickly. And it is still 0.2 square kilometers, which is 1/5 of the basic area. This is a huge improvement. Enough to wipe out the huge price paid by their Rus consortium. Unless they send plants directly to Richard's island, they don't want to catch up with the newcomer to the Dragon Kingdom. But considering the huge cost involved, Hardy is a bit of a pain in the ass. Richard opened the pattern at this time, and said solemnly, "You must invest more. If I can't become the monthly rookie king, then my current efforts will be in vain." Hardy was annoyed. This Richard dared to point fingers at him. But after calming down, Hardy had to admit that Richard had a point. After pondering for a moment, Hardy said, "I see, I will convince the board to increase investment." Just as Richard was about to smile, he heard Hardy say mournfully, "If you can't get the Rookie of the Month this time, you know the consequences." "I know." Richard snorted coldly and turned to leave. Along the way, he kicked a passing mushroom man. Advertisement Chapter 31 The increase in the size of Sube's island is obviously not hidden from the special team. Just after fixing the entry for the golden lemon tree, Shen Kingling's message came. The grayskin caveman who met came with the island world. Sube thought she wanted to ask something, but it turned out to be this. Randomly returned a message. Yes, otherwise how would they come? Swim here? On the island. Shen Kingling went crazy looking at the reply. Although the truth is this truth, it always feels that something is not right. In fact, at first she really thought that the grayskin cavemen swam from the sea. Only when Sube is unlucky, the scale of the monster invasion encountered is a bit large. But now know that his island area has increased. Shen Kingling reacted immediately. This is not bad luck. It is clearly extremely good. It was only the 3rd day when he encountered the pieces of the drifting island. Thinking that after she became a trainee island owner, it took a full 2 months before she encountered the first island fragment. Thinking of the silver level sharp blade of unknown origin in Sube's hand, Shen Qingling suddenly had a premonition. This newcomer might have the opportunity to hit the throne of the supreme newcomer king. Although Su Bei is not even the monthly rookie king now, Shen Qingling has this hunch. This is a woman's intuition. Shen Qingling immediately took out the communicator, contacted the special affairs team, and sent the relevant information to the past. Within moments, there was a response. Execution of the Dragonfly plan. These simple words made Shen Qingling's expression a little shocked. Of course she knew what the Wormling plan was. This is a plan formulated by the Special Task Force to train apprentice island owners. The core point is to concentrate resources in order to cultivate top-level island owners. But here's the problem. All of those who can be selected for the Young Dragon plan are island owners who have joined the Special Task Force. Whether it's true or not, at least it's in name. And Su Bei and the special team are just a partnership. Providing him with additional resources is already the maximum. Now, the hatchling plan is directly started, which shocked Shen Qingling a little. The boss of the special team is so optimistic about Su Bei. But Shen Qingling didn't think much about it. Anyway, she didn't provide the resources for the Dragonborn project. She was just a middleman, sending the supplies to Su Bei. Why do you need to ask this and that? It will only add to your troubles. After calming down, Shen Qingling opened the chat bar and sent Su Bei a message. A batch of seedlings should arrive today. Prepare yourself. As for the hatchling plan, Shen Qingling did not disclose it. Su Bei saw this information and was very satisfied. The special team is very knowledgeable and efficient. When his island is productive, selling more points to the special team will be considered a return. Now that he knew that the seedlings would be sent over, Su Bei naturally couldn't wait, and called the Earth Spirit Splitter back and asked them to turn over the free space in the magic field for a while. As for the Earth Spirit, it continues to deal with the newly added land. The two most valuable golden lemon trees on the island fragments have been removed, and the rest are wildflowers and weeds, which are of little value. When Su Bei asked the Earth Spirit to turn over the soil, he buried the weeds in the soil, which was considered to be fattening. In the afternoon, Su Bei received a message from Shen Qingling and opened the trading column. After a few swipes, more than a dozen special plant seedlings were placed on it. According to Shen Qingling, this is only the first batch of supplies, and there will be more in the future. Batching is also done to keep costs as low as possible. In addition, it is not easy to collect the seedlings of special plants, and the special team also needs a little time. Su Bei didn't care much. This is all prostitutes. What opinion can he have? After confirming the transaction, the seedling appeared in front of Su Bei. Thorn vine seedlings, top-grade black iron, sharp spikes can break through the fur of the intruder, which is a common means of island defense. Su Bei didn't expect that this time it was this thing. It doesn't seem to work. After all, there is a three-dimensional detection, and no matter where the monster logs in, he can receive the information. However, Su Bei thought about it. As the size of the island continues to increase, it will take more time for him to reach the monster invasion site. If there is a thorny land that can stop monsters, it is also a good choice. Especially in those flat areas, planting some thorn vines works very well. With this in mind, Su Bei sent a message to Shen Qingling to thank him. Then I began to wonder whether to refresh in batches or individually. After pondering for a moment, Su Bei decided to refresh in batches. There are more than a dozen seedlings here, and the workload of refreshing them separately is not large, but it is very time-consuming to fix. Su Bei can now fix 5 entries a day, and it takes 2 or 3 days to completely fix the thorn vines. The supplies of the follow-up special team will arrive one after another, and there is not enough time. To save trouble, or batch refresh. Refresh. 3 entries appeared, white and green. Ordinary level, extended, and spiky, are not high grade, but very practical. Su Bei looked at the last cyan entry, slightly paralyzed, excellent level, the thorns of the thorn vines are poisoned, slightly paralyzing the enemy, and the item level is upgraded to the best black iron. Then there is nothing to say, just fix it directly, just one more chance to fix it before the upgrade. Fixed. Ding, the entry has been fixed. After fixing the entry, Subei asked the Earth Spirit Splitter to plant the thorn vine seedlings on the magic field. The announcement of the island world also sounded. Your island rating has been improved, and it is currently 81 stars. With a smile on his face, Subei is just around the corner. Not long after, the soil spirit sent feedback that the newly added land had been reclaimed and could be planted at any time. After pondering for a moment, Subei took out a few bags of jade corn seeds and gave them to the Earth Spirit. The name of this emerald corn is very domineering, but it is actually an ordinary plant of blue star. In the case that the island defense is not fully formed, special plants cannot be planted in the edge areas, so as not to be destroyed by invading monsters. Ordinary plants of blue star just come in handy. Among the scholarship materials given by number 5 middle school, there are many seeds of this common plant. Anyway, the land is empty, it is better to plant it first. For the sake of safety, Subei took Al-Shan to the formation to ensure the safety of the Earth Spirits. His main industry is the center of the island, and even if there are monsters invading from other areas, Subei can get there in time. But here is the edge, in case any monsters run up. With the small body of Tu Ling, I am afraid that he will die on the spot. Subei also expects it to continue to produce splits, but it can't be compromised here. Putting his hand on the handle of the knife, Subei stared at the sea in a daze. A flash flew over and pointed to the sea in the distance. Subei looked in the direction. A piece of wood is drifting with the flow. Looking more closely, there was a black cat lying on it, shivering. Advertisement Chapter 32 Little Luck. It's amazing that a cat appears in the sea. After all, in Subei's impression, cats are afraid of water. Although they can swim. But the cat in the distance was lying on the wood. It is estimated that he accidentally fell into the water, and then drifted here. Chirp chirp. Shan hurriedly danced up and down, looking like she wanted to rush over. Subei quickly pulled him back. With its small physique, it would be gone with a single wave. It is he who wants to save. But Subei has to assess the risks first. The ocean is not calm, on the contrary it is full of danger. Many of those monsters affected by demonic energy are lurking in the sea, ready to rush to the island to wreak havoc at any time. Coupled with the inconvenience of movement in Shanghai, even the island owner may overturn the car. Therefore, the first rule of survival in the island world is not to go into the sea easily. A cat appeared, and with love, Subei was willing to lend a helping hand. But if I put myself in a crisis, I can only say sorry. But maybe the black cat found the island here, and Subei saw it trying to control the direction of the wood and came here. Chirp chirp. A flash made a short, rapid sound, as if cheering for the other party. Subei originally wanted to wait for the wood to float over before salvaging, but soon his expression became serious. He saw a dorsal fin appearing dozens of meters behind the wood. There are sharks. The black cat on the wood also sensed that the crisis was approaching, and jumped into the sea, and then began to work hard to dig the water. Not to mention, it's pretty fast. But it's much worse than sharks. Boom. In the huge waves, the shark crushed out of the water in half, biting off the piece of wood in one bite, then shook his head and locked the black cat in front of him. Subei also took advantage of the situation to see the properties of sharks. Name: Ironfin Shark Level, Black Iron. Advanced Skills: 1. Master Swimmer. 2. Seek Enemies. 3. Sharp Description: Sharks with sharp teeth can easily bite through steel plates, they are top predators. After a brief hesitation, Subei decided to go into the water to rescue. The black cat was not big. It seemed that it was born not long ago, facing the threat of death. It burst out with endless potential. Its longing for life moved Subei. The situation of the black cat is not the situation of Subei. The only difference is that Subei activates the system and realizes the change of fate. Now, he is going to kill the iron-tip shark with the dragon yin knife, and help the black cat to realize the fate change. Quickly taking off his coat, Subei jumped into the water while biting the dragon sword. The appearance of such a large target naturally attracted all the attention of the iron-tip shark. There is only so much meat in the black cat, which is comparable to Subei. Without the slightest hesitation, the iron-tip shark changed its target and charged straight towards Subei. Chirp chirp. Shan shouted and hovered above Subei's head, ready to turn into a flash bomb and give Iron Fin a head-on blow. Subei let him do what he was told, don't act rashly, then took a breath, clenched the dragon yin knife and dived. The iron tip shark charged at a high speed and opened its mouth full of sharp teeth, ready to swallow Subei in one bite. Although it is in the water, Subei's basic stats are very high, and it has enough mobility. He didn't panic, staring at the charge route of the iron tip shark. Soon, Subei gave an order in his heart to let Xiaoshan release the burst flash. There is seawater isolation, the light is weakened a little, but it is enough. The iron tip shark was caught off guard, and his vision was white, and he couldn't see the scene in front of him at all. However, it also has the ability to search for enemies, which can determine the position of Subei and continue to charge forward. Subei didn't even expect to take out the iron tip shark. It's enough to interfere with the other party's line of sight. At the moment when the iron tip shark crushed over, Subei burst out with all his strength, and his strong body broke through the obstacles of the seawater. With a flip, Subei came to the back of the iron tip shark and grabbed the dorsal fin with his left hand. In the next second, the long yin knife penetrated the skull of the iron tip shark, stirring its brain into a paste. The black iron advanced iron fin shark has not evolved to the point where it can live without a brain, so it did not hang up unexpectedly. Maintaining the momentum of the forward rush, it rushed out of the sea and ran aground on the beach. Subei jumped off the back of the iron tip shark with a calm expression. There is an entry for killing gods, and if he can't kill an iron fin shark, then he has failed too much. But in his heart, Subei was thinking about how to awaken some powers in the follow-up. It's not a problem to rely on powerful basic attributes alone. For example, this time, if he knew long-range skills, why would it be so troublesome to kill the iron fin shark while standing on the shore? While thinking, Xiaoshan flew over and pointed to the black cat in the distance and called out. Only then did Subei realize that when he was fighting the iron tip shark, the black cat also swam to the island successfully and was spitting water on the ground. Obviously, the little guy was choking. But in the end, he saved his life. Subei dressed up and walked over, then startled. This black cat has a lot of background. Name, Gem Cat potential, Silver advanced current level, Black Iron lower skills, 1, Little Luck, 2, True Vision, 3, Treasure Hunt loyalty, 60 entry, unlocked. Refresh ×1 description. This is a black cat that can bring good luck. It was the first time I saw Subei, a cat of the highest quality in silver. This quality has gone beyond ordinary light and water. Only the small flash and small green with fixed entries can surpass it. Having said that, this cat is actually called Gem Cat, and its skills are quite interesting. The skill of small luck may be the reason why it drifted here. Otherwise, in the vast sea, who knows where it will drift. It just so happened that Subei bumped into it. And if you change the island owner, maybe the Gem Cat won't be rescued. Iron deep sharks are not so easy to kill, the ocean is their home. That's why Subei's art master was daring and dared to go into the sea to fight, and he killed him with 2 moves. If another island owner came here, it is estimated that he did not see it. Subei pinched his chin to observe the Gem Cat, wondering what effect this little thing's treasure hunting skills would have. It should be hopeless for the time being. But it doesn't matter. Subei's saving the Gem Cat is not for his skills, but simply to do good deeds. While Subei was thinking, the Gem Cat was also watching Subei. Amber eyes gleamed with wisdom. Meow meow meow. The jewel cat let out a yawn, leaned over to Subei, and rubbed its head against his calf. Subei smiled. This guy is quite eye-catching. In that case, let's keep playing. It can also add some life to the island. Putting the Gem Cat aside, Subei looked at the body of the iron tip shark, and then sent a message to Shen Qingling. Is the iron tip shark accepted? Advertisement. Chapter 33 Skill Optimization. Shen Qingling was a little confused whether Subei's luck is good or bad. To say it badly, he has obtained island fragments, which is something that senior island owners can't ask for. But let's just say, he encountered monsters every now and then. After making up his mind, Shen Qingling decided not to think about it and replied quickly, close. The skin of the iron tip shark is a high-quality leather armor raw material. After receiving an affirmative reply, Sube picked up the Longian knife and opened the iron-tip shark, and then successfully peeled off the shark's skin. I cut a piece of fish and threw it to the gem cat. As a result, this little guy was quite picky, looking at the fish filled with sand with disgusting eyes. But in the end, hunger prevailed, and the gem cat swayed the fish in the sea, washed the sand, and then ate it in small bites. Meow meow meow. Jewel cat burst into tears. It's so unpalatable. Sube didn't understand the meaning of the gem cat, and thought it was very happy to eat. He pondered for a while, and felt that it was necessary to fix the entry of Shui Ling's condensation into ice in advance. There are no special plants for now, but it is also good to build an ice room to store food. Before the iron-armored lizard, the taste of the meat is okay. Because there is no way to store it for a long time, it can only be thrown into the sea to feed the fish. Thinking about it now, it's a huge waste. Restraining himself, Sube put the shark skin on the trading bar. As usual, Shen Qingling used star chrysanthemum seedlings as a trade, and added the cat food Sube asked for. She was curious, what was Sube doing on the island, and why did she start raising cats? Does he not need to cultivate and develop the island? With many doubts, Shen Qingling exchanged 2 star chrysanthemum seedlings for the skin of the iron-tip shark. This thing is a good material for making leather armor. It is light and tough, and Blue Star's sword can't cut it at all. Shen Qingling also asked Sube if he wanted to give him a finished leather armor, but was told no, he had better. In addition to silver-level weapons, are there high-grade leather armor? Shen Qingling looked at Sharkskin silently. She's going to lose sleep again tonight. That guy, where did he get the high-grade leather armor? Not even the iron fin Sharkskin. Compared to Shen Qingling, who was tangled, Sube had no psychological burden. Seeing that the gemcat had finished eating the fish, he grabbed the little guy and put it in front of him to observe carefully. The black fur has been dried with the help of Zeoxian, and it feels slippery and cool, and feels very good. There is a touch of gemstones. The eyes are amber, pure and transparent. Just looking at the appearance, this gem cat is the best looking cat among all the cats Sube has ever seen. It is also the highest quality. Silver top grade. Many of Sube's special plants do not have such a high grade. Looking at the number of refreshable times on the attribute panel, Sube asked in his heart, "System, what are the consequences of fixing the entry for this cat?" Strictly speaking, Jewel Cat is not Sube's property. It is different from the creatures recruited by the scrolls such as Earth Spirit and Water Spirit. In terms of loyalty, it is only 60. Neither high nor low. Sube didn't want to have just finished fixing the entry, and this guy jumped into the sea and drifted again. The system responded, "Please rest assured, the host, fixing the entry for the living body will force the loyalty to 100. Sube was keenly aware of the problem inside and asked, "Is it the same for humans?" "Same." Hiss. Sube was a little shocked. The system is really awesome, and it can even do such a thing. Doesn't it mean that if he wants to, he can build a kingdom completely loyal to him on the island? However, Sube has no interest in reversing the times. A limited chance of fixation needs to be reserved for special plants on the island. However, this gemcat can refresh the entry first, find a suitable one, and then fix it. Now, let's refresh first. Refresh. 3 alternative entries appear. 2 green and 1 blue. The gemcat deserves to have the skill of a little luck, and the quality of the entries is very high. Hunting instinct, rare level, improves combat ability, can more easily find the enemy's weaknesses, and the item level is upgraded to the lower gold level. Danger perception, rare level, strengthen intuition. There is a certain probability of discovering possible dangers in advance, and the item level is upgraded to the lower gold level. The 2 green entries are helpful to the battle. However, Sube looked at the size of the gemcat, and then grabbed its claws and looked at it for a while. Finally came to a conclusion. The fighting power of this guy is unbelievable. And Sube hasn't fallen to the point where he needs a cat to supplement his fighting power. These 2 green entries are optional. Put them aside first and look at the blue one. Skill optimization, excellent level, improve the skill effect, and upgrade the item level to the golden middle grade. The appearance of this entry made Tsubei a little moved. He has a feeling that if he can fix this entry, it will bring considerable benefits. However, the fixed number of times today has been used up, and we can only wait for tomorrow. Putting the gem cat back on the ground, Tsubei quickly treated the iron tip shark, took out the fish liver, and cut up a piece of meat for the gem cat's dinner, then kicked it back into the sea. The taste of shark meat is said to be not good, and Tsubei does not want to try it when there is no shortage of food. But when I saw the gem cat just now, it tasted quite delicious. Sure enough, people and cats cannot be generalized. That is, the gem cat doesn't know what Tsubei is thinking, otherwise it has to jump up and give him a paw. Delicious hammer. Boom. Water splashes everywhere. The body of the iron-tip shark floated up and down in the sea, and was soon discovered by unknown creatures, dragged into the sea and disappeared. Tsubei waited for a while, and found that the creatures in the sea did not intend to land, so he didn't bother to pay attention, and turned back to the resting point. It's evening now and it's time to prepare dinner. Back at the rest point, it can be seen that the gem cat is very popular. The earth spirits and other creatures who stayed in the center of the island surrounded them to express their friendliness. However, according to Tsubei's observation, it is found that there is a big difference. As the highest grade at this stage, the earth spirit behaves like a big brother when facing the gem cat. And ordinary water spirits and light spirits are a bit restrained. Overall the atmosphere is very harmonious. The gem cat is probably also aware of its own position. Tsubei fiddled with dinner on the side, and opened a bag of cat food for gem cat. As for creatures such as earth spirits and water spirits, their recovery methods are very special. Is to absorb the energy of the island. A special energy called Reiki by humans. There are many related studies, but no accurate results have been found so far. After eating and drinking, Tsubei quietly waited for midnight to come. Advertisement Chapter 34 Picking up a treasure chest for nothing. The island rating broke 100. When midnight came, Tsubei immediately lifted the gem cat and then grinned. Meow. The gem cat was so terrified that it first stood up, with unstoppable horror in its eyes. What does this man want to do? Are you going to eat it? The previous cat food unexpectedly turned out to be the last supper. Meow meow meow. The roar of the jewel cat drifted across the island. Tsubei didn't care either. Fixed. Ding, the entry has been fixed. The jewel cat, who was lamenting the impermanence of fate, was stunned. It felt a mysterious force flowing within it. The human in front of him suddenly became tall and stalwart. Meow meow meow. The gem cat's eyes stared like copper bells, full of doubts and confusion. What happened? It feels like it has changed a bit, but it doesn't seem to have changed. Gem cat was confused, but Tsubei saw its changes clearly. Name, gem cat potential, gold intermediate current level, black iron lower skills. 1. Little luck. 2. True vision. 3. Treasure hunt loyalty. 100 entry. Skill optimization. Excellent description. This is a black cat that can bring good luck. This is the new attribute of the gem cat, which has been greatly changed. Afterwards, Tsubei put the gem cat on the ground and kept saying, "Quick, go on a treasure hunt." Jewel cat understood what Tsubei meant this time. It was still strange in my heart, and suddenly I felt a mysterious force guiding it. Meow meow meow. Jewel cat stretched out its paws and tugged at Tsubei's trouser legs, then ran away. Tsubei was startled. He mentioned this casually, and he succeeded. Little flash, Tuling, keep up. Tsubei greeted him and took the two younger brothers to catch up with the gem cat. After running for more than 200 meters, the gem cat began to slow down, lowered its head and kept sniffing on the ground, as if looking for something. Soon, the gem cat locked its position and made a meow meow. Tsubei immediately asked the earth spirit to step forward and start turning the ground. I was very surprised. The land here has been turned over before. If there is anything, the earth spirit should be able to find it. In the end there is not something. Wait a moment. No. The earth spirit began to exert its ability to disperse this oil in front of it. After a few minutes, Tuling stopped and stepped aside. Tsubei took 2 steps forward. In the deep pit, A quaint box lay quietly. Bronze level treasure chest. After opening, you can get a random bronze level item. Su-bei looked at the gem cat. The gem cat also looked at him. The earth spirit next to him looked like he was thinking about life, and even the appearance of the split body did not cause its mood swings. How did this box come about? It clearly turned over the soil here. Why didn't it find it before? The place was very quiet. In the end, it was Su-bei who broke the piece first. Good job. Su-bei was all smiles. This is really a treasure. You know, the reward for Fizz, who became the third apprentice island owner, was nothing more than a bronze level treasure chest. Now, he picked one up for nothing. I'll call you Lucky Cat in the future. Meow. Meow meow. Jewel Cat protested. No, this name is not acceptable. Su-bei smacked his lips regretfully and could only give up. Lift the box out of the pit and Su-bei opens it directly. The treasure chest in the island world is very magical, and it can't refresh the entry, which puts an end to the idea of Su-bei cart bug. Otherwise, some clones or something, a treasure box a day, take off in place. The treasure chest was opened, and inside was a small piece of white crystal. Island heart fragment, bronze low grade, after use can enhance the adsorption capacity of the island, increasing the area of 0.1 square kilometers. Getting this kind of good stuff was something Su-bei never thought of. He looked at the gemcat with more and more satisfaction. It's worthwhile for him to take risks to fight the iron tip shark and make a lot of money. Su-bei did not use it directly, but refreshed the entry first. Different from the treasure chest, the items opened in it can be refreshed, and the entry can also be fixed. Refresh. 3 entries appeared, 2 white common and 1 green rare. Su-bei's main focus is on green entries. Powerful, rare level, strengthens the target and increases its effect by 100%. The quality is not high, but it is very practical. Su-bei is directly fixed. Although it is kept and refreshed slowly, stronger entries may appear, thereby gaining more island area. But Su-bei knew a thing better. Time does not wait. There are countless competitors who are eyeing it. Just in the daytime, the island world is constantly reporting, and new people continue to kill island monsters and become apprentice island owners. After mastering the rhythm of battle, the best of the newcomers began to stand out. But the rewards they get are far worse. The reward for the 4th to 10th place is a black iron treasure chest, and the 11th place has nothing since the beginning. But compared to those who are still fighting monsters, or have died, these newcomers are undoubtedly much luckier. The continuous increase of apprentice island owners has enriched the island rating list and intensified competition. Richard has obtained new materials from the Lighthouse Consortium, and his rating has risen by more than 10 stars. The third trainee island owner, Fizz, should not be underestimated. According to the information disclosed by Shen Qingling, this one is a ruthless man who directly sold 70% of the island's ownership and won the great power of an organization that never sets support. Don't look at him starting late, but there is a faint trend of surpassing Richard. There are other apprentice island owners, all of them are immersed in development. You are chasing after each other on the rating list, and the competition is very fierce. Although so far, Su-bei occupies the first place with an absolute advantage. But he knows that he can't slack off and must continue to consolidate his advantages. The growth of the island area is a top priority. Fixed the strong entry, which can add a total of 0.2 square kilometers of land, which is very critical at this stage. After fixing the entry, Su-bei used the island heart fragment directly. Then, he received feedback from the heart of the island. Full of joy, Su-bei felt that the island under his feet was shaking slightly. He came to a high place and looked around. He could see that the edge of the island was constantly drifting from the sea, and it naturally merged into the island. The area expansion this time is different from the previous fusion of island fragments. It is a simultaneous extension of the surrounding area. However, because of the perimeter, the extended soil is not too wide. But the area is determined, which is 0.2 square kilometers. The announcement of the island world also followed. Your island rating has been improved, and it is currently 113 stars. You are the first island owner to break through the 100-star rating of the island this year, and the growth rate of plants is increased by an additional 5%. And this surprised. Sube picked up the jewel cat and held it high. This little guy is really his lucky star. It took him a long time to make a huge improvement. Not to mention that the island's rating has exceeded 100 stars. There are additional rewards. On the list, even Richard, who ranked second, only had 67.1 stars at this time. The difference is self-evident. Advertisement: if you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 35, Richard's plan to settle the world. On the island in the middle of the night, Richard kicked the mushroom man flying by and let out an inexplicable roar. He's going crazy. During the day, I just got a new special plant from the Rust Consortium, which pulled the island's rating. Still thinking about closing the gap with Sube. As a result, one did not pay attention, and that guy's island rating broke 100! The deputy island owner, Hadi, who was already asleep, jumped up, rushed out of the tent with a gloomy face, and shouted at Richard, "What happened? Why is the newcomer of the Dragon Kingdom leading so much?" Richard didn't get angry, and he choked, "How do I know? Also, what do you eat?" After so long, the special plants sent over are all black iron grades, and only 2 bronze grades. Chew, send the beggars. Hardy's arrogance was suddenly a little miserable, and he explained stubbornly, "My friend, the cost of continuous transmission is too high. Although you are now a part of the Rust Consortium, you must know that there are many island owners under the consortium, and they also need resources." Richard snorted coldly, "I don't care. I will see 10 bronze-level special plants in the daytime tomorrow, and they must be adults." Hardy was furious. This is the big mouth of a lion. Do you know how much it costs to send 10 bronze-level adult plants? You don't know at all. You only care about yourself. But Hardy had nothing to do. The Rust Consortium has invested a lot of resources, and if it can't produce results, it will be lost. Thinking of the news revealed by the directors of the consortium, Hardy decided to get some more resources. The island world is about to usher in new changes, and this year's battle for the new king is very critical. Not only to fight for the monthly Rookie King, but also to go straight for the throne of the Supreme Rookie King. No matter how greedy Richard is, the Rust Consortium can only recognize it by pinching his nose. Although there is no clear data, but after so many years of exploration, Blue Star has also discovered many hidden rules of the island world. For example, the 10 new people who become the first trainee island owners every year will receive additional blessings for their islands. The higher the ranking, the greater the blessing. No matter how bad Richard is, he is still second. The island has unique advantages and must be used. As long as you can become the monthly Rookie King or even the Supreme Rookie King, then all the investment can be recovered. In addition, there is actually a hidden reason. This time Hardy became Richard's deputy island owner, but he gambled all his belongings. If Richard is cold, he won't have a good time. The Rust Consortium will not let him go. In public and private, Hardy can only maintain a united front with Richard. Now, the island area of Sube has increased by 0.2 square kilometers, and the island rating has also exceeded 100 stars. In fact, Hardy is more anxious than Richard. However, the wily he will not show his emotions on his face, but will take the opportunity to lower the price. It is best to get more island ownership. Then even if he breaks up with the Rust Consortium in the future, he still has a way out. After calming down, Hardy suddenly felt that this was an opportunity. A strange light flashed in his eyes, and he said meaningfully, "Richard, Ming people don't speak secretly. If you want to get more resources, you know what to do." Richard's face was ugly. Of course he knew how. Nothing more than selling more island ownership. At this time, Richard suddenly envied Sube. He knew that the Longo Special Team was supporting Sube unconditionally. Although due to cost considerations, there is no large-scale delivery of materials yet. But anyway, Sube paid no price. As for that right of first refusal, is that a condition? On the other hand, he has already handed over 40% of the ownership of the island, and the Rus Consortium is not satisfied. Richard knew that even if he surrendered another 40%, the other party would not be satisfied. That being the case, then simply break the jar. Anyway, his island is not complete, and he simply continues to sell the ownership. But this time, he will not sell to the Rus Consortium again. In the Lighthouse country, some consortiums want to invest in the trainee island owner. As long as he releases the news, those consortium representatives will flock to him. As for the agreement he signed with the Rus Consortium, he has already fulfilled his responsibilities. He handed over 40% of the ownership, and the Rus Consortium gave him material support. We don't owe each other. Don't talk about the spirit of the contract. That's bullshit. Richard has a bold idea. He wants to sell another 40% of the ownership. Let the new consortium fight with the Rus Consortium. And the 20% ownership he retains will be the ultimate bargaining chip. Whichever side he prefers will get more than half of the ownership and master the main authority of the island. Richard was secretly proud. This is the art of war of the Dragon Kingdom, which is called expelling tigers and swallowing wolves. Richard looked at Hardy, and suddenly he was not angry, but said coldly, "I will consider it." After that, I went straight back to the tent. Hardy was a little puzzled, but didn't care. Richard has been pinched by him, and it can still be turned upside down. It turns out that it can. As long as there is no bottom line, anything can happen. The next day, Hardy was stunned when he saw the men who suddenly appeared on the island. Richard smiled and said, "Mr. Hardy, let me introduce to you. This is the new deputy island owner, Mr. Crizzo." Then, Richard said implicitly, "This Mr. Crizzo is from the White House Consortium." Hiss. Hardy was shocked. Richard's hand was beyond his imagination. Just before Hardy could speak, his communicator rang frantically. The chairman of the Rus Consortium came up with a saliva and scolded Hardy through the communicator. As for Richard, such a big move, the Longo special team knew immediately. They couldn't help but be shocked by Richard's actions. Originally thought that Fitz's sale of 70% of the ownership was invincible in the world, but I didn't expect someone to be braver than him and directly sell 80%. Outrageous. After being shocked, the special affairs team became nervous, contacted Shen Qingling, and passed her an item. Be sure to give this thing to Su Bei as soon as possible. Shen Qingling looked at the information about the item and couldn't help but push the eyes on the bridge of her nose. Did the special team work so hard? At this time, Su Bei had just woken up from his sleep. After using the island heart fragment yesterday, he went straight to sleep. As for the remaining 3 fixed opportunities, I am ready to use it during the day. After the gem cat appeared, Su Bei found that he couldn't use up the entry-fixing opportunity prematurely. Save it once or twice for a rainy day. Anyway, as long as you use it before midnight, you can refresh first, and then act accordingly. But before Su Bei began to think about which entry to fix, Shen Qingling's message came. "There is a difficult challenge. Are you interested?" Advertisement. Chapter 36. Enchanted Island. Su Bei was very concerned about Shen Qingling's message, and replied while brushing her teeth, "Details." Immediately, Shen Qingling sent a screenshot of the item attributes. Coordinates of the Enchanted Island: top-grade black iron. Open a 3-hour teleportation channel to connect to the Enchanted Island after use. There may be unexpected gains. Please also pay attention to your own safety. Su Bei spat out the toothpaste spit in his mouth. Really difficult challenge. Enchanted Island. This thing can be seen as hard to come by. Exactly how it came about is not entirely conclusive. The Aborigines of the island world do not know how this thing came. However, judging from the name, it can basically be considered that the island was affected by the magic energy, which caused some special changes. It is like the crystal of magic energy in the monster's body, and it also appears because of the magic energy. It's just that it has been 100 years since humans discovered the island world, and the formation process of the Enchanted Island has not been recorded so far. No magic was found. Therefore, it can only be estimated that these Enchanted Islands are left over from the previous years. The history of the island world is very long, and even the Aboriginal people here have no specific concept. There are various theories, but 10,000 years is the lowest. For such a long time, it is not surprising that all kinds of strange things have appeared in the island world. For example, the magic island. While thinking about it, Shen Qingling's follow-up information also came. The coordinates of this enchanted island are high-grade black iron, and the monsters on the opposite side are basically locked in black iron grade, but the possibility of bronze grade cannot be ruled out. This is just a guess. We don't know what the situation on the other side is, and the situation of each magic island is different. Whether or not to use this thing is up to you to decide. At the same time as the information came, the coordinates of the enchanted island also arrived. Shen Qingling gave the choice to Su Bei. From the appearance, the coordinates of the enchanted island are a black jade butterfly, the size of a palm. It's easy to use, just crush it. The energy contained in it will spurt out, forming the transmission channel. During the duration, you can go back and forth at will. And that's where the danger lies. The user can go back and forth, as can the monster on the opposite side. If you don't have enough strength, it's easy to pit your own island. If the heart of the island is broken, everything is over. Generally speaking, even if a senior island owner obtains the coordinates of the enchanted island, they will not use it easily. Big gains, big risks. But Su Bei decided to challenge. According to the information he found, due to the influence of the magic energy, some special plants will be born on the magic island, which cannot be found on ordinary islands. Scarcity means high value. And this coordinate is high-grade black iron, and most of the monsters on the opposite side are black iron grade. Even if there is a bronze level, it is estimated that there are only 1 or 2, the leaders of those monsters. Ordinary black iron islands can't beat bronze, but Su Bei is not afraid. He has an entry for killing gods, and his basic attributes have been increased tenfold. In terms of attributes alone, it is no longer inferior to the bronze level. Coupled with the Longian sword and the Gale leather armor, it has the power to fight. Thinking of this, Su Bei decisively sent a message to Shen Qingling. I'm going to take a look. Shen Qingling already had the answer in her heart, but she couldn't help but reply, would you like to ask the superpowers of the Special Affairs team to help? Su Bei naturally declined. His island has too many secrets to allow others to land right now. The main thing is that Su Bei didn't want to reveal his island coordinates. Enchanted island coordinates can only be opened in the island world. Ask the power users of the Special Affairs team for help. Let them teleport to the island first, and then open the teleportation channel. This is unacceptable to Su Bei. At least not yet. Unless he gives the other party a fixed entry, the loyalty is locked at 100. But that makes it more suspicious. Shen Qingling was not surprised by Su Bei's refusal. In the island world survival code, it is included not to disclose the coordinates of the island easily. Now that Su Bei has made a decision, he can only help from a different angle. The power user can't go there, but it's no problem to send some props. Shen Qingling placed a box directly in the trading column and said quickly, this is what I will invest in. When the special plants on your island mature, don't forget to leave some for me. Su Bei was not pretentious. He took the box and replied, don't worry, I really have something here for you. I got 2 golden lemon trees yesterday. As soon as the information passed, Shen Qingling's reply came. Be sure to keep it for me. After a while, another message came. Be careful. Su Bei turned off the chat bar, calmed his mind and opened the box given by Shen Qingling, and the heat wave hit his face. Inside are 5 fruits, bright red in color, exploding fruit. Black iron is the best. This is an extremely explosive fruit, please store it carefully. Grenades. Su Bei immediately closed the box. Good guy. Shen Qingling didn't even remind him. If he opened the box carelessly, I'm afraid that he would die before he was born. But with these 5 bursting fruits, he will be more sure of going to the magic island. This thing kills black iron monsters without any pressure. Even bronze rank will be injured. Leave a few more golden lemons for Shen Qingling next time, Su Bei secretly said, and immediately began to warm up. This time he went to the magic island, and he was going to bring Zhao Shan with him. After killing all the monsters, take the gem cat over, and use its treasure hunting ability to grab a bigger harvest. Perhaps knowing what Sube was going to do next, the earth spirits all gathered around and expressed their concerns. Sube is very calm. He decided to enchant the island only after he had fully calculated his combat power. "You can wait at home, I'll be back soon." Sube appeased these little guys and took the jade butterfly to the edge of the island. This is just in case. Even if monsters rush over as soon as the passage is opened, at least it won't cause much damage. Little Dodge hid in his pocket and stuck out half of his head. It's nervous, but not afraid. Sube smiled and then crushed the jade butterfly. Boom. The turbulent black mist gushed out from the jade butterfly fragments and quickly condensed together to form an ever-changing transmission channel. Before Sube stepped into it, a black figure jumped out of the passage and let out a terrifying roar. This is a monster that looks like a monkey in pitch black. Name: Enchanted Monkey. Level: Black Iron. Advanced Skills: 1. No fear of pain. 2. Throwing proficient. 3. Strength enhancement. Description: a monkey affected by demonic energy cannot stop its attack unless it is killed. Really monkey. Sube slashed the enchanted monkey in half with a knife, then took out a popping fruit from the box and threw it into the passage. After waiting for 2 seconds, Sube rushed into the passage. Advertisement: Chapter 37 Sliding Shovel. The feeling of crossing the teleportation channel is like crossing a layer of water curtain. Sube adapted quickly. After landing, there was no attack. It's not that there are no monsters here, but they are all lying on the ground. The monster waiting at the entrance of the passage never thought of it. What they were waiting for turned out to be a burst fruit. Then he was blasted to the ground and spewed blood. Sube glanced around. There are 6 demonized monkeys, and they are already breathing more and less, and they will die quickly if they leave it alone. However, in order to eliminate the hidden danger, Sube went up to make up the knife and split their heads one by one. This time, the demonized monkey is dead and can no longer die. After doing this, Sube heard a whistling sound approaching. Another monster is rushing over. Or demonized monkeys. There are 4. But there are also differences. While they are floating on the branches, they will also pluck the nearby fruit, and then smash Sube. The demonized monkey has the ability to throw and enhance the strength. Each of these fruits is like a cannonball, with a sharp air-breaking sound. Sube estimates that ordinary steel plates can't stand it. He was wearing the wind leather armor, but he didn't want to try how fierce these fruits were. It must be painful to hit. Sube shook his body and started dodging. The Longian knife in his hand opened his bow from side to side, and flew a few fruits. Fortunately, these fruits are not bursting fruits. Otherwise Sube would be severely punished. Being beaten without fighting back is not Sube's style. While dodging, he is also rushing forward. The demonized monkey is also very tough, and after a few rounds of throwing, jumps down from the tree and prepares to fight Sube in close quarters. I don't know where their confidence comes from. Maybe it's because Sube's body looks weak. The body of the demonized monkey is a monkey, but under the influence of demonic energy, it has undergone tremendous changes. Everyone has their backs, and it shouldn't be a problem to kill the cow with one punch. In addition, they are dispatched in groups, and they are not afraid of death. The ordinary black iron level island owner is really not an opponent. The fruit was thrown quickly and ruthlessly, almost catching up with the machine gun fire. However, the demonized monkeys also have shortcomings. Their minds are affected by the demonic energy, so they voluntarily give up their long-range attacks, which they are good at, and fight Sube in close combat. That is suicide. In Sube's eyes, the attacks of these demonized monkeys were slow motion, killing the 4 attacking demonized monkeys in an understatement. Yo. There were shouts in the woods in the distance. Obviously, the demonized monkey also found this human being very difficult and began to shake people. Boom tilde, boom tilde, boom tilde exclamation mark. The dull footsteps sounded, and a giant beast smashed into the tree blocking the road and appeared in Sube's field of vision. Name: Enchanted Iron Rhinoceros. Level: Black Iron. Top Skills: 1. No fear of pain. 2. Crashed. 3. Defense enhancement. Description: Rhinos affected by magic energy. Their charge is unstoppable. This demonized iron-skinned rhino is simply a walking armored vehicle. It is more than 6 meters long and nearly 3 meters high. The skin on its body is scarred, and it has obviously experienced countless battles. Tsubei became serious and clenched the Longian sword tightly. In the face of this big guy's charge, he has to be careful not to overturn. Once hit, absolutely incapacitated. Then you can only wait to die. Rumble. The enchanted iron skin rhino began to charge, increasing the speed to the limit in an instant, rushing forward with an afterimage. The huge rhino horn was aimed at Tsubei. Tsubei didn't move, as if shocked by the charge of the demonized rhinoceros. The scarlet eyes of the enchanted rhino held a hint of disdain. That's it? Those monkeys are really getting more and more useless? Such a weak human can make them helpless. The speed of enchanted rhino continues to increase. Tsubei still didn't move. Just as the impact was about to happen, he yelled, "Blitz!" I don't know when the small flash that flew into the air released a dazzling light. The enchanted rhino was blinded on the spot, and was a little flustered, but its charging momentum had already picked up, and it couldn't stop at all. It could only aim at the position of Tsubei in memory and continue to charge forward. Anyway, that human is already frightened and stupid. It can kill each other without looking at it. But what awaits it is the sharp Longian knife. From a distance, you can see Tsubei recoil towards the demonized rhino, and a sliding shovel comes under the belly of the demonized rhino. The Longian saber in his hand went up. It is not difficult for the silver dragon knife to cut through the thick skin of the demonized rhinoceros. The demonized rhino sent himself to a dead end. Tsubei broke open the belly of the demonized rhino with no effort. The enchanted rhino felt the tearing sensation in his abdomen, but he couldn't stop. Under the action of inertia, it rushed forward all the way, and its internal organs also flowed to the ground. When the huge corpse stopped, it was empty. Tsubei jumped up from the ground, shaking off the blood on the blade. Then took a few pictures of the scene. In the future, when he drinks and brags with others, he can tell about his glorious record. How can ordinary people do it to kill such a large demonized rhino with a sliding shovel? But the battle is far from over. The enchanted rhino hangs up, and the enchanted monkey reappears. They don't know how to write the word fear. On the contrary, the smell of blood in the air will only make them fierce. Tsubei is naturally doing good things to the end and sending them back to their hometown. More than a dozen demonized monkeys were killed, and the battle finally came to an end temporarily. No other monsters appeared in the field of vision. Tsubei kept moving, transporting the bodies of these monsters back to his island. It can be sold to Shen Qingling in the future, which can be regarded as additional income. With Tsubei's power, even a demonized iron rhino can carry it around. When he finished moving the monster corpse and walked through the teleportation tunnel, it felt like he was locked. That kind of pressure can be clearly felt even if it is far away. The answer is obvious. There are indeed bronze-level monsters on this enchanted island. The good news is that there is only one. Nor did Tsubei feel powerless to resist. Can hit. But Tsubei didn't take the initiative to look for it. He couldn't get too far from the passage. If the hometown is stolen by monsters, the fun will be great. The current situation is to see who can hold their breath first. The advantage is on Tsubei's side. It is difficult for these monsters affected by demonic energy to suppress their ferocity. The opposite will show up first. Time passed by minute. During this period, several demonized monkeys also appeared, trying to lead Tsubei away from the passage. Naturally, their little tricks won't work. Tsubei continued to wait. Just to let Flash recover his stamina. After half an hour, a stench wafted in the wind. There was also a hissing sound. A giant snake the size of a bucket swam out of the woods, spitting out letters, and looked at Tsubei with greedy eyes. This human being has a very strong vitality and can make it a full meal. Advertisement Chapter 38 Bronze Level Magical Anaconda. Tsubei has never seen such a big snake. The part that swims out of the woods is already 5 or 6 meters long. Calculated, the overall length is definitely more than 10 meters. To be honest, the appearance of such a thing in front of him is a very test of psychological endurance. It's okay if it's just big. The key is that Tsubei found that this giant snake's eyes seemed to have some light of wisdom in it, and while observing him, He was constantly locking in Xiaoshan's position. With a little dread in his eyes. The giant snake's pupils contracted and blinked at a high frequency. Although it will affect vision to a certain extent, it will not cause instant blindness due to strong light. Su Bei's heart sank. This giant snake saw the whole process of killing the demonized rhino, and realized the tricky part of the flash. It may not be able to find a complete cracking method, but it can also minimize the loss. Concentrating his mind, Su Bei observed the properties of the giant snake and pondered a battle plan. Name: Magical Anaconda Level, Bronze. Lower skills: 1. Strangulation. 2. Induction Enhancement. 3. Steel Scales. 4. Giant Strength. Description: the anaconda affected by the magic energy is infinitely powerful, and its scales can ignore the attack of bronze-level weapons. Seeing the skill set and description, Su Bei's first reaction was that this magic anaconda is the strongest. But immediately saw an opportunity. His Longyan saber is a low-grade silver weapon. Even though the steel scales of the enchanted anaconda can reduce damage, they cannot be completely immune to attacks. As long as it can cause damage, even a god can kill. Of course, this process can be very dangerous. With the size of the demonized anaconda, coupled with the giant power skills, as long as Su Bei is entangled by it, it is not so easy to break free. This battle will be more difficult than ever. Strobe. With a low voice, Su Bei clenched the Longyan knife and rushed out. The small flash, which has been on standby for a long time, gathers energy and emits a dazzling light. The demonized anaconda's vertical pupils showed disdain, and then closed their eyes. This stupid human, does he think he can deal with it with outdated tricks? Impossible. Although the enchanted anaconda closed its eyes, its eyesight was normal, and the location of the prey was locked by thermal induction. In the perception of the magic anaconda, it can clearly see that a heat source is rapidly approaching. Speedy. Even beyond the category of black iron creatures. The demonized anaconda felt uneasy for no reason. Immediately annoyed. It even had a feeling of fear when facing a weak human being. Hiss. The enchanted anaconda spit out letters, sensed the subtle fluctuations in the air, and further locked Su Bei's position. Then he twisted his body suddenly, and his tail was pulled out like a steel whip with a whistling sound. If it hits this time, let alone flesh and blood, the main battle tank will be directly blown up. But before the enchanted anaconda hit the target, it noticed 4 heat sources that suddenly appeared. The human seems to have thrown something out. Boom tilde. Boom tilde exclamation mark. The explosion sounded almost at the same time, and the flames shot into the sky. Su Bei continued to let Xiaoshan use this skill when he knew that the flash had no effect. The purpose was to make the magic anaconda close its eyes. He didn't expect to end the battle with this skill. But it can greatly interfere with the judgment of the demonized anaconda. It is also convenient for him to throw out the popping fruit in the box. Su Bei had only used the burst fruit once, and he couldn't be sure whether the magic anaconda had any defenses, but he could only take a gamble. It now appears that he succeeded. The burst fruit accurately hit the tail thrown out by the enchanted anaconda, and in the firelight, the scales splashed around. At the same time, the body of the enchanted anaconda froze for a moment, neighing in pain. When the firelight dissipated, Su Bei was delighted to see that the tail of the demonized anaconda was dripping with blood. It didn't blow up, but it also made the magic anaconda lose a killer. It cannot use its tail as a whip for a short time, and its attack range is greatly reduced. And this is Su Bei's chance. While throwing out the popping fruit, Su Bei is also rushing forward at extreme speed. He had the entry to kill God, and when he ran with all his strength, he immediately pulled out an afterimage. The magic anaconda endured the pain and wanted to lock Su Bei's position. But there had just been an explosion around, and the heat flow was surging, which became Su Bei's best cover. Even a bronze-level demonized anaconda with induction strengthening skills could not accurately target Su Bei in such a chaotic situation. Compared with the demonized anaconda, Su Bei's body is not enough to look at. At this moment, it became his advantage. The enchanted anaconda twisted frantically, trying to intercept Su Bei, but to no avail. Su Bei rushed forward and swung the dragon blade in his hand a dozen times in an instant. The steel scales, which are immune to bronze-level weapons, are a little weak when facing the dragon yin knife. Scale fragments, flesh and blood flying. Tsubei opened a big hole in the body of the demonized anaconda in an instant, and he could even see the bones beneath the flesh. But immediately, Tsubei flew back. He knows he can't be greedy. With the size and vitality of the demonized anaconda, it is impossible for him to kill it with one blow. Boom. As soon as Tsubei retreated, the snake head of the demonized anaconda smashed over. It dug a big hole in the ground. If Tsubei stayed where he was, he would definitely be pierced by snake teeth. The 1-meter-long snake's fangs could kill Tsubei on the spot without the need for poison. The magic anaconda knew by its taste that it did not bite Tsubei, and endured the pain of its tail, and slapped it horizontally. However, his strength and speed were greatly reduced, and he was easily dodged by Tsubei. Not only did he dodge it, but he also slashed twice with the long yin knife. The demonized anaconda hissed in anger, raised his head and bit it from the side. Then he was slashed twice by Tsubei, almost putting his eyeballs in. The magic anaconda was a little stunned. Come on, who is the bronze class? The energy fluctuations of this human being in front of him are obviously only at the black iron intermediate level, so why are they pressing it from beginning to end? This puts its face to wear. As the king of monsters on the enchanted island, it also has to save face. The demonized anaconda now only hates that he has not evolved long-range skills, otherwise he would have beaten and eaten this human long ago. Now, we can only continue to twist the body to attack. It's just that after experiencing the sharpness of the long yin saber firsthand, the enchanted anaconda couldn't let go. The situation slowly tilted towards Tsubei. But he didn't take it lightly. This demonized anaconda is also a bronze level monster anyway. Who knows what killer it will be. There is a saying that you are afraid of what will come. After fighting off another attack from the demonic anaconda, Tsubei saw the serpent raise its head and hiss. This kind of sound had never happened before. Squeak. The demonized monkey rushed out of the woods. His eyes were red, and he looked like he was losing his mind. Tsubei reacted immediately. This demonized anaconda with thick eyebrows and big eyes actually shakes people, no, shakes monkeys. Advertisement. Chapter 39 Beheading. On this island, the demonized anaconda is in an absolute dominant position. It's the boss here. And the demonized monkey seeks a life under its hands, and it must be surrendered to it. This is normal. It's just that the demonized monkey rushing over now is irrational, which makes Tsubei think that there may be another hidden meaning in it. It is the neighing sound of the enchanted anaconda that has a hypnotic effect. Or is it that monsters infected with demonic energy have a strict internal relationship? Tsubei felt that there was a lot of articles in it. It's a pity he doesn't have time to study it in detail now. The 7 demonized monkeys were divided into 2 groups and threw stones from different directions. Only the demonized monkey, that Tsubei is not afraid. But the magic anaconda was staring at him, and his actions were greatly restricted. He must always ensure that he has spare energy and enough reaction space. Otherwise, the demonized anaconda rushes over, and things will be difficult to turn around. The stones thrown by the demonized monkeys are not small, generally the size of fists, and the speed is very fast. And Tsubei still has no good way to take them. He rushed twice just now, trying to kill the demonized monkey. But they were all intercepted by the demonized anaconda. Seeing that this was not the way to go, Tsubei suddenly had a flash of inspiration and looked at the long yin sword in his hand. A bold idea came to his mind. Call out. Another stone came flying. This time, Tsubei did not choose to dodge. There was a little excitement in the eyes of the demonized anaconda. Is this human being exhausted? Too bad it was too happy. The reason why Tsubei didn't hide was that he wanted to test out a new combat plan. The long yin sword in his hand has a certain toughness. And the stones thrown by the demonized monkey were quite round. This triggered his instinct as a native of the Dragon Kingdom. This thing may be used to play table tennis. State. In the crisp sound, the high-speed flying stones flew out diagonally. The demonized monkey in the other direction was waving its arms to attack, and suddenly saw a small black dot appear in the field of vision. Then I felt a chill in my head, and I fell straight to the ground and died violently. Its skull was blown away, and its brains were mushy. With such a fatal injury, Even a living creature cannot survive. No matter how brave the demonized monkey is, it is still flesh and blood, and it hangs up very simply and decisively. Hiss. The enchanted anaconda's pupils shrank, and its tail twitched uneasily. What is the principle? How the demonized monkey's attack not only did not hurt the human, but also killed the demonized monkey next to him. The demonized monkey who threw the stone was also confused. Sube is happy. Well, the long-range attacks of these demonized monkeys are no longer a threat to him. Instead, it will become his help, helping him to quickly clear the threat. The enchanted anaconda neighed again, urging the enchanted monkey to continue attacking. It must have been an accident just now. The remaining 6 demonized monkeys attacked at the same time, and the flight paths of the stones were staggered. But Sube never thought of hitting back 6 stones in one go. While dodging, the target was selected, and the Longian sword was drawn horizontally, knocking a stone into the air again. Thump. Another demonized monkey was hit in the head, and the body fell into the dust. The demonized anaconda saw clearly this time, and neighed again. The demonized monkey was also very obedient, stopped throwing stones, and rushed forward with a howling, ready to beat Sube to death with his fists. But this is obviously not realistic. Even Sube would love to see. When it comes to melee combat, these demonized monkeys are here to deliver food. When the angry demonized anaconda reacted, the 5 demonized monkeys had turned into pieces and fell into a pool of blood. The battle situation turned into a duel between Sube and the demonized anaconda. However, the magic anaconda is full of confidence. Its tail wound has initially healed, and its combat power has recovered a lot. And although this human killed the demonized monkey, he must have consumed a lot of physical strength. Victory must belong to it. The body of the demonized anaconda twisted, and a surging force erupted, rushing straight in with a fishy wind. Sube didn't have time to take a breath, so he could only fight forward with the Longian sword in his hand. This time, the demonized anaconda immediately felt that he could do it. The offensive of this human being is not as sharp as before. He is already at the end of the shot and will soon perish. Sube fought and retreated, heading towards the teleportation channel. Seeing this situation, the demonized anaconda became more and more certain of its own judgment. This human wants to escape. But where can he escape? Although the enchanted anaconda doesn't know the principle of the transmission channel, it can also feel that the shape of the channel is very stable. Even if the opponent flees back, it can still pursue the victory. It's time to eat again. The demonized anaconda showed confidence, and the offensive became more and more fierce. And Sube's resistance became difficult. After all, his physical strength has its limit. Strobe. Sube snorted again. A flash released light, then fell into a weak state, was hidden in his pocket by Sube, and jumped into the teleportation channel with him, returning to his island. Although the magic anaconda closed its eyes, it also saw the whole process through thermal induction. When his vision recovered a little, he immediately rushed into the passage. As soon as the magic anaconda crossed the passage, it felt empty. Wow. The magic anaconda fell into the huge quagmire. Earth, spirit, harden the soil. Sube's voice sounded beside him. The enchanted anaconda just wanted to swim, but found that the surrounding mud seemed to have endless resistance, making it unable to perform. This is no ordinary mud, it contains the power of the earth element. It's the earth spirit. The demonized anaconda shook his head angrily, preparing to find the culprit. It found more than a dozen meters away. The earth spirit and its 3 divisions are using their abilities to harden the soil. The demonized anaconda twisted its body and collapsed the surrounding soil. But the new dirt came up again. The 2 sides were at a stalemate, and the earth spirit began to become a little weak. But the state of the demonized anaconda was not much better, and the extent of struggle was greatly reduced. Sube clenched the Longian sword tightly, rushed out from the side, and slashed wildly on the back of the enchanted anaconda. The steel scales were shattered, and flesh and blood flew. Soon, Sube saw the beating heart. The demonized anaconda sensed the crisis and struggled desperately. But in the end it was futile. The Longian knife penetrated deep into the heart, then bowed left and right, and chopped the huge heart into pieces. The enchanted anaconda raised its head high and fell to the ground weakly. Its strength was exhausted, and only instinctive twitches remained. Subei let the earth spirit continue to harden the soil, while he was holding the dragon sword and backed up, so as not to deceive the anaconda. After a while, the demonized anaconda didn't have any breath. This bronze-ranked giant snake was beheaded by the black iron-ranked Subei, and he died very suffocatingly. Advertisement Chapter 40 Finding the Booty. Subei mashed the brains of the enchanted anaconda into a paste with the dragon yin knife, completely eliminating the possibility of it deceiving the corpse. After that, Subei let out a long breath. Finally at the last moment, he pretended to be defeated and fled back to the teleportation channel, just to introduce the demonized anaconda into the prepared quagmire. As early as when the demonized anaconda appeared, Subei let the left-behind earth spirits and water spirits cooperate with each other, creating a huge quagmire at the entrance of the passage. This is not difficult. The difficulty is how to get the demonized anaconda to chase after him. To this end, Subei fought with the magic anaconda for a long time, creating the illusion of exhaustion, letting him relax his vigilance, and finally fall into the trap. With the obstruction of the quagmire, the mobility of the demonized anaconda was limited by most. Subei also took advantage of the situation to hit the snake and hit 7 inches, shattering the heart of the enchanted anaconda. It's not that Subei can't defeat the enchanted anaconda head-on. His physical strength is still sufficient, and he has been playing, and in the end the victory is still his. But the problem is that the transmission channel can only last for 3 hours. It took nearly an hour to wait for the demonized anaconda to appear and clean up the original demonized monkey. Subei's victory would be meaningless if it dragged on. He went to enchant the island to find special plants, not to kill a giant bronze-level snake. Of course, the value of this magic anaconda is definitely not low. But how to compare to those special plants? That's why Subei resorted to this trick and used the quagmire to kill the enchanted anaconda. Subei estimated the remaining time, and there was still about an hour and a half, and the time was very tight. Let the earth spirit rest in place to recover energy. Subei took the dragon sword and passed through the passage again. Returning to the enchanted island. He must first determine what high-value special plants are on the enchanted island, and then let the earth spirit transport it back. Come again this time, Subei will be very relaxed. All the monsters on the island have been killed by him. According to Subei's observations, the island is small. It can't afford to support too many monsters. A bronze-level demonized anaconda, plus more than 20 demonized monkeys, is estimated to be the limit. In the previous battle, the demonized anaconda called out the demonized monkeys. At this time, Subei was walking on this enchanted island, without worrying about being attacked. Don't worry about your island being attacked. Going out a few dozen meters, Subei stopped, with a happy expression on his face. A clump of special plants, there are a dozen or so, with a height of 50 or 60 centimeters. The blood-red flowers bloom in the wind. Snake eye flower, black iron top grade. The fruit looks like a snake eye, highly poisonous, and mostly grows in places where snakes are infested. Subei observed it, and determined that these snake eyes were about to bear fruit, and couldn't help but feel more and more satisfied. Although the fruit of the snake eye is highly poisonous. But it's always useful. It's really not good. Extracting the toxins and making a little poison arrows is quite beneficial for the follow-up battle. After marking the snake eyes, Subei moved on. Perhaps because this enchanted island is the habitat of enchanted anacondas. The second special plant discovered by Subei is also poisonous, heartbroken grass, middle-grade black iron. The rhizome is highly poisonous. Subei said in his heart that this was the rhythm that would make him a Breaking Bad master, and hoped that there would be new discoveries in the future. Thinking of this, Subei decisively called out to the gem cat. Almost forgot about this little guy. Although the gem cat was reluctant to set foot on the enchanted island, it still listened to Subei's instructions, passed through the passage, and ran over quickly. When passing by snake dazzlings, the gem cat also spared a circle, with a look of resistance. Subei reached out and touched the gem cat's head, and said, "Go on a treasure hunt." The gem cat raised its small head, sniffed in the air with its nose, and then went in a certain direction. Sube followed immediately. Soon, the gem cat stopped. Meowing at the big trees in front of you. Dark underworld tree, bronze top grade. The fruit can enhance the anti-poison ability, and at the same time has a chance to awaken the A-level poison system in the field of vision. There are a full 6 dark trees. The height is basically in the early 10 meters, which is a standard adult plant. There are many green fruits hanging on the branches, and it will not take long for them to ripen. However, Sube also found traces of picking. I think it was those demonized monkeys before, who picked and ate the ripe fruit. At the same time of being full, you can also obtain anti-toxicity, and you can survive better on this enchanted island. These 6 dark trees are of great value. The most important thing is to save Sube a lot of training time. This is already an adult plant that can produce stably. Go to the magic field and take care of it with Zielu. I think the first batch of dark fruits will mature within a few days. Good stuff. This is definitely good stuff. Asked about the status of the earth spirit, and learned that it had basically recovered. Sube immediately let it come with 3 splinter bodies. Snake eye flower and heartbroken grass can be ignored, but these 6 dark trees must be brought back to the island. The earth spirit and the split body came quickly and started work in an orderly manner. And the gem cat stretched out its claws and pulled Sube's trouser legs, meowing in the distance. Sube was instantly overjoyed. Incredibly rewarding. As he moved forward, Sube found that the ground became slippery and covered with a little slime. At the same time, the air also became smelly. The gem cat jumped to Sube's shoulder, meowed twice, and raised its paw to point forward. Sube immediately understood the meaning. In front of it is the nest of the demonized anaconda, and there is something in it that makes the gem cat very concerned. But the ground is too dirty, and the gem cat doesn't want to go. Sube smiled and patted the gem cat's head. The little guy is quite clean. Going forward in the direction the gem cat pointed, Sube saw a huge cave. Just looking at the size of the hole, you can tell that this must be the nest of the magic anaconda. Enchanted monkeys can't use such a big place. The smell was unpleasant, but according to Sube's perception, there was no life in the cave. The cave is not deep, and standing at the entrance of the cave can clearly see the whole picture inside. In addition to the shed snake skin, there are some bones. There are demonized monkeys, and there are others. Sube is estimated to be a monster that originally lived on this island, but was eaten by demonized anacondas one after another. And it also grew slowly and was promoted to the bronze level. Only bad luck. Sube came. Restraining his mind, Sube's eyes wandered around the cave, and he soon discovered something. In the central area of the cave, where the magic anaconda rests, there is a black stone. The size of the grinding disc. The surface is black. Just by looking at this look, you can tell that it's not an ordinary thing. Yushi, low-grade silver, stone impregnated with demonic energy, very rare. Good guy, a silver-grade stone. Advertisement Chapter 41. A lot of gains. Sube imagined that, under normal circumstances, when the enchanted anaconda was resting, it was estimated that he would put his head on this secluded stone to absorb the magical energy it radiated. Thereby enhancing their own strength. Perhaps at the very beginning, the enchanted anaconda just came to this enchanted island unintentionally. But after coming into contact with the secluded stone, it began to mutate, and finally had the current strength. Of course, what the truth is, Sube doesn't know. The demonized anaconda became the soul of his sword, and the body was still lying in the quagmire. Sube gathered his thoughts. The secluded stone will definitely be taken away. Anyway, it's silver. It's just that rashly holding it by hand may have hidden dangers. To be on the safe side, Sube sent a message to Shen Qingling. How to collect the secluded stone. Shen Qingling has been waiting for news from Sube. It's just that in order not to distract Sube, she didn't rashly send a message to ask about the battle. Now that Sube's information has come, let Shen Qingling know that Sube has ended the battle on the enchanted island and started to recover the spoils. The word Yaoshi made Shen Qingling speechless. That guy's luck is really invincible. On the black iron level enchanted island, a silver level secluded stone was found. Dare to be a little more outrageous. After calming down, Shen Qingling replied, "It needs a container made of the magic seal. This is a material that restrains the magic energy. How big is your quiet stone?" Su Bei took a photo and sent it over. Soon, Shen Qingling put a box and a pair of gloves on the trading bar. Su Bei accepted it directly. Just go back and transfer the money to Shen Qingling. It's not a big problem. Putting on the gloves and putting the secluded stones in the box, Su Bei found that there were signs of corrosion on the surface of the specially made gloves. Such a powerful corrosive ability made Su Bei secretly startled. At the same time, I admire the life of the demonized anaconda. That guy slept on the secluded stone every day, and he was still alive to this day. Simply a miracle of life. Throwing the glove to the ground, under Su Bei's gaze, the glove quickly turned to fly ash. Su Bei carried the box and looked at the jewel cat on his shoulder. "Is there anything else?" "Meow. Meow." Jewel cat quickly shook his head, urging Su Bei to leave the cave quickly. "What a dirty place this is. It's about to suffocate." Su Bei glanced around again, and after confirming that there were no items with attributes in his field of vision, he turned and left. It was a pleasant surprise to be able to find this secluded stone. The most valuable thing in this barren island is this stone. The rest should be the 6 dark trees. According to the feedback from the Earth Spirit, it has brought the 2 dark trees back to the island with the split body, and it will be over in a quarter of an hour, and then it will transfer the snake eye and heartbroken grass. However, snake eyes and heartbroken grass cannot be transferred to the magic field. Especially the heartbroken grass. The rhizomes are poisonous. If it hurts the magic field, it will be a big loss. These 2 special plants are poisonous and need to be disposed of properly. With the Earth Spirit there, he doesn't need to worry about this matter. Su Bei left the cave with the box, and after walking about 100 meters, put the gem cat on the ground. "Any special plants on the island? Take me there." Judging from the situation just now, Su Bei reckoned that there was no treasure chest on this island. However, the gem cat's treasure hunting ability can not only find treasure chests, but also special plants. It also saves him wasting time wandering around. I have to say that with the gem cat, finding special plants is really a lot easier. The gem cat ripped apart the layers of fallen leaves with its claws, and the dark red ginseng half exposed on the ground appeared in Su Bei's field of vision. Red cloud poison ginseng, bronze top grade, can be used to make antidote, and has obvious relief effect on most toxins. Although it is poisonous ginseng, it can detoxify. The magic of the island world makes people feel emotional. After discovering the first red cloud poisonous ginseng, the gem cat seemed to have grasped the trick and kept pulling the fallen leaves on the ground, and every time he could gain something. 10, 20. Su Bei was a little surprised as the red cloud poisonous ginseng was continuously discovered. This is too much. It wasn't even pulled out by the demonized monkey and eaten. This is a bronze level special plant, and the black iron level demonized monkeys can't resist their attraction. But it doesn't matter, Su Bei is cheap now anyway. It happened that the Earth Spirit had already completed the transplanting of the dark tree, and Su Bei called it and the splinter, and began to transfer the red cloud poisonous ginseng. These red cloud poisonous ginseng look very full, and they can even be sold directly. Bronze level special plants, although they cannot help awaken abilities, are of low value. And it can also make antidote. It is absolutely not wrong to keep a little of this thing around. Just before Shen Qingling gave a box to hold the secluded stone, Su Bei threw a red cloud poison ginseng directly. Shen Qingling accepted it happily. This red cloud poisonous ginseng can produce at least 10 antidotes. The critical moment is 10 lives. The value is immeasurable. However, the appearance of Chai-Ion poisonous ginseng made Shen Qingling a little surprised. On the black iron level demonized island, not only silver level secluded stones, but also red cloud poisonous ginseng and even dark trees appeared. Shen Qingling even wondered if the coordinate jade butterfly had expired. Judging from this output, how could that enchanted island be rated as bronze? Thinking of this, Shen Qingling suddenly remembered something, and sent a message to ask, "Have you encountered a bronze level monster?" Su Bei was walking forward under the leadership of the gem cat, and replied casually, "There is a demonized anaconda of the bronze inferior level, which I killed." Shen Kingling was silent. Su Bei didn't care, stopped and stared at the sea of flowers in front of him. The flowers blooming on the hundreds of square meters of land turned out to be all black iron class special plants. Golden powder rose, medium-grade black iron, with a small amount of gold powder in the petals, which can be extracted from gold. It's amazing. Su Bei was amazed. This is a sea of flowers. It is a gold mine. However, Su Bei reckoned that even if all these golden pink roses were collected, the amount of gold that could be extracted would be limited. But better than nothing. Tell the earth spirit the location, and take it away later. So far, Su Bei has turned around the enchanted island, and can't find any more special plants. How to say? It did not exceed his expectations. The magic island lacks effective care, and it is not easy to grow so many special plants. Maybe some before. But if they are not properly cared for a long time, it is estimated that they will all die. Coupled with the existence of the demonized anaconda and the demonized monkey, it is difficult for those who can afford it to stay. However, although there are no special plants, there are still many ordinary plants on this enchanted island. Like some common berries, they also have some value. After the earth spirit and the schizophrenia transported the special plants, Su Bei asked them to continue their efforts and transported as many common plants back as possible. There is still a lot of vacant land on his island that cannot be wasted. Even if there is no high-value output, at least it looks a little more alive. In the midst of the hustle and bustle, the duration of the teleportation channel ended and disappeared quietly, as if it had never existed. Advertisement: if you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 42 Rock Soldiers. The body of the demonized anaconda had been carried out of the quagmire by the earth spirit and lay quietly on the ground. Even though he is dead, this big guy is exuding an amazing suffocating aura. Ordinary people don't say it's fighting, just standing in front of it will make their hands and feet weak and lose their courage. Su Bei sent a message to Shen Qingling: will you accept the enchanted anaconda? Shen Qingling replied quickly, accept. I want all of them, whether it's scales, snake skin, or flesh and blood, all of them. Su Bei thought for a while and replied, okay, let's sell it to you in a package and make an offer. After the news was sent, Shen Qingling didn't reply. After half a minute, aren't you considering listing it on the trading center? The enchanted anaconda is a bronze-level monster with high value. Those apprentice island owners are willing to spend a lot of money to buy it. Su Bei knew this. After the corpse of the demonized anaconda is disposed of, it can be put on the trading center to maximize the benefits. But Su Bei has a steel scale in his heart. In the previous few transactions, he made a profit. The total value of the star chrysanthemum seedlings that Shen Qingling gave him was higher than the monster materials he gave him. In addition, before going to demonize the island, the 5 burst fruits given by Shen Qingling also played a major role in the battle. Regardless of whether Shen Qingling helped out because of the special team's orders, at least Su Bei accepted her love. Then he can't be stingy. He must show something. There is a saying that people respect me 1 foot, and I respect others 10 feet. Su Bei didn't bother to toss the demonized anaconda, and packed it directly to Shen Qingling. This also counts as fulfilling the agreement between him and the special team. Right of first refusal. In addition, this time to go to the magic island, if there is no coordinate jade provided by the special affairs team, it is impossible to go. Don't even think about getting so many high-value special plants. Not only can it bring actual benefits, but it is also of great benefit to the rating of the island. The value of 6 dark trees alone is immeasurable. That is an adult plant, and it can start producing directly. Those green fruits on the branches are expected to produce the first batch of dark fruits within 10 days. In addition, there are red cloud poisonous ginseng, snake-eye flower, heartbroken grass and golden pink rose, which are all real benefits. And the piles of common plants that fill Su Bei's island a lot. When the entry is refreshed and fixed today and tomorrow, his island rating will even be close to 200 stars. But these There is no need to say, Su-bei just replied Shen Qingling, happy cooperation. Shen Qingling understood immediately, no more words, and accepted the corpse of the enchanted anaconda that Su-bei put on the trading column. The only pity is that such a large demonized anaconda did not condense the crystals of demonic energy, otherwise, Su-bei would definitely be able to go straight to the advanced level of black iron or even the top level, increasing their fixed chance again. Such a big snake is not useful. Su-bei muttered as he examined the corpse of the demonized monkey. Then I was surprised to find that so many demonized monkeys did not condense the crystals of demonic energy. Is it good luck or bad luck? Su-bei was a little disappointed that he didn't find the magic crystal, but after the battle just now, he felt that his strength had improved a little. In the face of such a powerful enemy as the demonized anaconda, his potential is further stimulated, and even if there is no magic crystal, he can quickly level up. It's just a matter of sooner or later. In no hurry. No demonic crystals were found, and Su-bei didn't want to keep the body of the demonized monkey, so he packed it up and gave it to Shen Qingling. After calculating the total price, Shen Qingling also gave Su-bei a corresponding reward. This time it is not the star chrysanthemum seedlings. But another prop that Su-bei desperately needs. Recruitment scroll, rock soldier recruitment scroll, black iron top grade. After use, recruit a potential top-level black iron rock soldier. They are fearless warriors. There are 5 recruitment scrolls in total. Able to form a team to patrol the island non-stop. If there is a chance to go to the enchanted island in the future, Su-bei will be able to deal with it more calmly. Thanks. Su-bei sent a message and swiped it. All 5 scrolls are given for free. But this is also expected. Using it directly, 5 rock soldiers were lined up in front of Su-bei. The height is about 2 meters. Very burly. Through a unique telepathy, Su-bei is able to hear their voices floating in his head. My lord, follow your instructions. Su-bei waved his hand, indicating that everyone is his own, so don't be so polite. Then check the attributes of the rock soldier. Name, rock soldier potential, black iron top current level, black iron lower skills, 1, rock armor, 2, primary fighting loyalty, 100. Both earth-type creatures, rock soldiers and earth spirits are completely different, and their skills exist purely for combat. With 5 rock soldiers, Su-bei didn't want to refresh them one by one, so he simply refreshed them in batches. After the entries are fixed in this way, they will work together more tacitly. Mainly because Su-bei has a bunch of special plants waiting to be refreshed and fixed, and the 5 times a day to fix the opportunity is somewhat stretched. In terms of value, the weight of rock pawns is not high. However, this patch refresh has produced a good entry. Stone archery, excellent level, grants rock soldiers the ability to condense and shoot stone arrows, and the item level is upgraded to bronze top grade. Increase the long-range attack means, quite good. Su-bei still has 3 fixed chances now, so he can simply fix the entry of the rock soldier first, and he can also form combat power as soon as possible. After fixing the entry, the rock soldier's body became thicker and more burly, already about 2 meters 5. The 5 big guys went to that station, very oppressive. Su-bei nodded in satisfaction and let them start patrolling along the island. The rock soldiers set off with firm steps, high fighting spirit. The gem cat tilted its head and looked at it for a while, then jumped on the head of one of the rock soldiers in 2 steps, raised its small head, and set off together. From the look of it, it is obvious that he regards himself as the leader of the patrol. Su-bei smiled and didn't care. The gem cat can survive under the pursuit of the iron-tip shark. It is very lucky, and there is no need to worry about it encountering danger. Immediately, Su-bei looked at the special plant transplanted from the enchanted island. Focused on the 6 dark trees. Transplanted to the magic field, and with the nourishment of little green's life, Su-bei was delighted to see that the fruits on the branches of dark underworld began to fade away, showing signs of turning red. When the fruit turns completely red, the dark fruit is ripe. After eating it, it not only increases the anti-toxicity, but also has a chance to awaken the E-level poison system. Of course, this is just the initial effect of the dark underworld tree. In the hands of Su-bei, These dark trees will get a new upgrade. Refresh. Advertisement. Chapter 43 The highly competitive island rating list. Although the name of the dark tree is ugly, it is not terrible in itself, and it is also a normal green leaf. But its fruit is very powerful. There is a chance to awaken E-level abilities, and it is still an invincible poison system. Although the reputation is a little worse, the combat effectiveness is real. Tsubei is also making up for the knowledge of the psychic during this time. The abilities of different grades will directly affect the combat power, and also affect the upper limit of the ability user's level. It seems that those who have awakened F-level abilities may end up being promoted to the Black Iron advanced level. And awakening the E-level ability, at least it can be promoted to the Bronze level. Bronze level ability users, or extraordinary people, are already high in end talents. No matter in the Blue Star or the Island World, there is a place. If you can awaken the D-level ability, it will be incredible. All forces must try their best to fight for it, and they are the guests of the consortium. As for further up, it is too rare, there is not much relevant information, and Tsubei has not found much useful information. But it is certain that it is definitely a top master. It is an important military force of various countries. Of course, the ability user is much worse than the island owner. The biggest difference is that with the development of the island, the physical attributes of the island owner will continue to strengthen. This is an award from the island world. And this kind of strengthening does not conflict with the island owner's awakening ability. It will even assist in the awakening of supernatural powers and enhance its power. Sitting on two kinds of power, the island owner and the ability user of the same level are basically hanging. If you want to wake up again, you need the fruits of special plants, and these important resources are generally in the hands of top island owners. The ability user is too late to curry favor with the island owner. How dare they offend them? Moreover, although most of the power users can only awaken the power of one attribute. But stronger syngenic powers can be obtained by eating higher level fruits. For example, if an ability user has awakened an F-level fire type ability, he has a high probability of only going the fire type route, but he can find a way to awaken his E-level ability to improve his combat effectiveness. If you want to achieve this, you still have to rely on the island owner. The relationship between the power user and the island owner is not a competitive relationship, but a subordinate relationship. Under the leadership of the top island owner, a large number of abilities have been gathered. They profess their allegiance in order to gain an opportunity to increase their strength. These are the data that Tsubei has collected over the past 2 days. At this time, while refreshing the entry of the dark tree, Tsubei was also thinking about a problem. Should he start to form his own psychic army? There is a system. As long as the entry is fixed, the loyalty of the other party will be directly filled, and there is no need to worry about betrayal. However, Tsubei always felt that this method was a little weird, so he didn't make a decision. But he already has 3 special plants in his hand that can help ordinary people awaken their abilities. The scorching sunflower that awakened the E-level ability, the fruit of light that awakened the D-level ability, and the dark fruit that was just obtained. The dark tree has not been strengthened, and after strengthening, at least D-level abilities can be awakened. It would be inappropriate to sell all of these outputs. If you can find a group of ordinary people to train into your own team, you can also better defend the island. Tsubei's island is sure to keep expanding. With the increase of the area, he alone is not the solution. He was covered in iron and could hit a few nails. Even adding the natas obtained from various recruitment scrolls is not enough. Recruitment, this seems to be on the agenda. Tsubei secretly said. Look for a chance to go back to Blue Star and see if there are any smart young people. Concentrating his mind, Tsubei looked at the alternative entries of the Dark Underworld tree. Of the 6 dark trees and 18 alternative entries, only one of the blue excellent grades came out. Bone-eating poison, excellent grade. The poison type ability that awakens the dark fruit is raised to D grade, and the item level is raised to silver top grade, fixed. The entry has been fixed. In fact, Tsubei can also choose to refresh batches of fixed batches. However, He finally distinguished the dark underworld tree. He wanted to see if he could differentiate poison-type abilities with different focuses. Plus, Subei has a bold idea. Although the basic level of the dark underworld tree is not high, if he obtains an epic level, even a legendary level, or even a myth level entry, then he has the basis for mass-producing C-level ability users. Like F-level and D-level abilities, Subei doesn't like it. Class D is not enough. With the development of the island, the monsters attracted will become stronger and stronger. These low-level abilities will be given away sooner or later. Need to plan early. Subei is going to specialize. All low-level power fruits produced on the island are sold in exchange for development resources. And all the special fruits of C rank and above are left behind, creating an invincible force of power users. People without farsightedness will have immediate worries. Subei feels that it is necessary to think about the long term. After fixing 2 entries in a row, Subei decided to take a break. It's not night yet, leave a fixed chance. However, there is no need to leave the opportunity to refresh. Moonlight Vine, Second Golden Lemon Tree, Light Spirit, Water Spirit, Star Chrysanthemum Seedling. These are all waiting for him to refresh. Subei suddenly felt tired. Good guy, his island has not yet developed to the extreme. If there are thousands or even thousands of special plants in the future, wouldn't he have to brush from morning to night? Batch, refresh, yids. Subei muttered something in his heart. After all the refreshes were over, Subei became even more melancholy. There is no good entry, and it always feels useless. Having nothing to do, Subei decided to take a look at the chat area to soothe his mood, and took a look at the island rating rankings. He is still in first place, with 193 stars in the island rating. As he keeps transplanting special plants and fixing entries, his island rating keeps rising. But he didn't notice. Island World was very caring, knowing that he was busy at the time, and lowered the tone of the announcement. After midnight, breakthrough 200 stars. Subei rekindled his fighting spirit. When he broke through 100 stars before, he got an extra buff, and the plant growth time was shortened by 5%. Breaking through 200 stars this time, I don't know if there will be any more rewards. After thinking about it, Subei looked at the others on the list. Second place, Richard, Lighthouse Country, island rating 103 stars. Richard's island rating also broke 100. But that one was also a ruthless man, who sold 80% of the island's ownership in total, and he was so bold that Subei looked at him. And it is very chicken thief to introduce 2 consortiums to settle on the island. Let them compete with snipes and mussels, and take advantage of the fisherman himself. Third place, Fitz, the sun never sets. The island rating is 101 stars. Fitz was the third to become a trainee island owner, and he sold 70% of the ownership right away. In fact, he is more ruthless than Richard. The rewards are also visible. The gap between him and Richard is only 2 stars. If Richard didn't work harder, it was estimated that the second would not be guaranteed. Fourth place, Hairy Bear Country, island rating 89 stars. Fifth place, Marshall, Maple Leaf Country, island rating 82 stars. Sixth place. The further down you go, the smaller the gap. After the 50th place, the difference is even calculated by 0.1 star. Only then did Subei find out. Unconsciously, many newcomers have become apprentice island owners and started their island development journey. Subei felt the pressure. Advertisement Chapter 44 The First Battle of the Rock Soldiers. Just as Subei was studying the island rating rankings, the patrolling rock soldiers stopped. It's not that they are lazy, but the gem cat called and raised its paws to point to the sea in the distance. Although the gem cat has no fighting ability, its quality has reached the middle grade of gold, far exceeding the enhanced rock soldier. These rock soldiers worship the gem cat as their captain on the spot. Now that the captain has spoken, the rock soldiers of course have to express it. The 5 rock soldiers turned their heads and immediately became nervous. On the sea, there are actually 2 shadows approaching rapidly. According to the inherited memory, the rock soldier recognized the shadow. It's an ironclad lizard. The rock soldier immediately sent a warning in his mind, notifying Subei, and at the same time assumed a fighting stance. They have acquired the new skill, stone archery, and they are already at this moment, holding stone arrows in their hands, and focusing on the iron-armored lizards. However, the iron-armored lizards are still hiding in the water. If there is seawater blocking, the stone arrows cannot cause effective damage, and they need to be brought closer. The iron-armored lizard in the sea was a little puzzled. Doesn't it mean that this island has no defensive strength? How come there are a few more rock soldiers? And it is so powerful and majestic, much taller than ordinary rock soldiers. Which blind man came here to spy on the information, and he had to kill him when he went back. After complaining, the two iron-armored lizards did not retreat. They all come, and they can't come back empty-handed. Swimming here is exhausting. If you don't add some physical strength, you might drown halfway. The iron-armored lizards looked at each other and started to dive. Meow meow meow. The jewel cat shouted and ordered the rock soldiers to line up separately. Two teams were blocked in the direction of the iron-armored lizards landing. It was riding the fifth rock soldier and took a few steps back, ready to run at any time. No, it was support. The iron-armored lizards in the sea could not help but be even more surprised when they saw the movement of the rock soldiers. These rock bumps actually understand tactics? But the arrow had to be sent on the string, and the iron-armored lizard roared, completed the communication, and began to sprint. They moved their limbs, shuttled through the water like sharp arrows, and rushed out dozens of meters in the blink of an eye. Boom! In the splashing waves, the iron-armored lizard rushed out of the sea and slammed into the rock soldier. With their size, combined with this speed, the impact would be terrifying. Although the rock soldier has a hard body, I am afraid that he will suffer a lot of damage. According to the ironclad lizard's combat experience, this trick has been tried and tested. But the rock soldiers on Subay Island are completely different from ordinary rock soldiers. The ironclad lizard's abacus was good, but it was a pity that before they could be implemented, two holes were hit by the oncoming stone arrows, and the momentum of the forward charge was also stopped. Before hitting the rock soldiers, I started from dropped in mid-air. The rock soldiers immediately surrounded them, and they smashed them with fists the size of a casserole. The stone arrows they fired just now were very tricky, and they were aimed at the joints, which made the armored lizards lose their ability to move and could only lie on the ground and be beaten. The iron-armored lizard let out a shrill roar. They are only inferior to black iron, and they are completely unable to resist after facing the strengthened rock soldiers. Before he could hold on for a few seconds, he was beaten until his brains were sprayed out, and he died on the spot. Meow meow meow. The gem cat came over on the rock soldier, raised his head and declared victory. Under its wise guidance, it completely wiped out the incoming enemies. The rock soldiers applauded one after another, saying that he is indeed the captain of the gem cat, and his demeanor is invincible in the world. At this time, a figure rushed straight from the center of the island. While running, he shouted, "Don't be afraid, I'm here." This is naturally Subay. He was refreshing the entry just now, and suddenly received a warning from the rock soldier. Then the three-dimensional detection of the heart of the island also marked the location and number of enemies. Subay became nervous at the time, and ran wild with his dragon sword in hand. As a result, wait for him to arrive at the scene to see. As if nothing happened to him. The two iron-armored lizards have been brainstorming, and there is no breath of life. Subay put away the Longian knife and smiled. As expected of a strengthened rock soldier, it is fierce. It now seems that, as long as they don't encounter a large-scale monster invasion, ordinary black iron monsters can't resist the rock soldier squad at all. Here you go. Subay praised. The rock soldiers were immediately happy, saying that this was their duty. Immediately, the rock soldiers lined up neatly and continued to patrol. Subay's desire to recruit people grew stronger. Rock soldiers are limited by the basic quality, and although they have obtained an excellent entry, their improvement is limited. They can fight bronze monsters at best. Enough for the short term. But after a long time, it will not keep up with the rhythm of the battle. Unless Subay is promoted to the silver level, The second entry can be fixed. But what to say? Seems to be longer. The appearance of these two ironclad lizards made Tsubei feel that it is necessary to continue to improve the island's defense capabilities. To this time, maybe 10 next time. There have been previous instances of 8 grayskin cavemen appearing at the same time. There is no guarantee there will be a next time. Tsubei is only one person after all. Plus 5 rock soldiers are not enough. If the monsters split up and landed from different angles, it would be troublesome. Combat troops must be increased. In addition to continuing to find ways to obtain recruitment scrolls, it is to cultivate ability users. The latter is even less difficult to implement. After all, recruitment scrolls are really rare. And cultivating supernatural beings is much simpler. As long as there's a special plant that grows into a plant and continuously produces fruits, several abilities can be piled up in the pile. Candidates are also easy to find. Although Blue Star's shortage of resources has basically been resolved. But it's only a basic solution. The condition of many civilians is nothing more than starvation. Although they will build islands. But to put it bluntly, T. Pulling anyone on the street can show both hands. Everyone at Blue Star will receive complete training at school before they turn 18. Including fighting and building islands. But there are only a few people who can become island owners, and no matter how vast an island is, the number of people it needs is limited. Many civilians have no chance and can only work at Blue Star. However, the population of Blue Star is already extremely large, and there is no need for so many people at all. As a result, a large number of civilians are idle at home, not starving to death, but not enough to eat. Tsubei believes that as long as he releases the news, countless people will flock to him, begging him to accept it. In order to get the opportunity to work on his island. Hiring is not difficult. The hard part is securing the other's loyalty. It is true that fixed entries can ensure that the loyalty of the other party is directly filled. But is this really appropriate? The education he received on Earth made Tsubei hesitate. After thinking about it, he decided to ask Shen Qingling. She has also been the island owner for 3 years, and she must have hired ordinary people and even people with abilities. Why don't you ask her for advice? After these few days of getting along, the relationship between the two sides can be regarded as familiar. Tsubei opened the friend bar and sent a message to Shen Qingling. How did your island recruit people? Shen Qingling's news arrived quickly. She obviously knew the real intention of Tsubei's question. The reply is very comprehensive. Ordinary people are not allowed to leave the island for the rest of their lives, and the ability person doesn't need to worry about it. As long as you have the ability fruit in your hand, they can't drive them away. Advertisement. Chapter 45 Slums. As the official island owner, Shen Qingling manages a lot of people, so naturally he has a lot of experience. In the blink of an eye, a few more messages were sent. Compared to being hungry and not dying in Blue Star, being able to enter the island world is an opportunity that many ordinary people can't ask for. If you feel bad about it, be nice to them. However, it should be noted that you cannot hire 2 strong ability users in the newcomer period, otherwise it will affect the balance. If the invasion of advanced monsters is triggered in advance, it will not be worth the loss. Tsubei knew Shen Qingling's last words. This is the rule that countless pioneers have explored with their lives. To a certain extent, it ensures the fairness of competition for newcomers. Even the second generation of those islands are subject to restrictions and cannot recruit people at will. However, using special plants on your own island to cultivate ability users is much less restricted. This is also the mainstream practice. Recruit a group of ordinary people, select suitable candidates after inspection, and reward the fruits of special plants. If you can become a supernatural being, everyone will be very happy. If unsuccessful, continue to work on the island. Either way is fine. Although most island owners will require ordinary people not to leave the island for life for the sake of safety. But this is not a condition, but a benefit. The environment of Blue Star has become very poor, and the air and water sources are polluted to varying degrees. The island world is different. Not only the environment is good here, but also the special energy of aura, which is beneficial to the human body. Even if you can't become a power user, just working on the island can prolong your life. Every time an island owner releases recruitment information, There are countless applicants. Sube pondered for a moment, and roughly came up with a plan. He has helpers such as earth spirits, and taking care of plants is not a problem, and he does not need to recruit too many ordinary people to the island. On the contrary, we should take the elite route and build the power user troops first. His island rating is a bit high, approaching 200 stars, and his attraction to monsters is particularly remarkable. In the vast ocean, the armored lizard is just one of the monsters. There are more and stronger monsters peeping in the dark. It's just that they haven't found Sube's island for the time being. Once they find it, they will continue to attack. In the face of your own safety, the thoughts of others are not so important. We must form a force of powers as soon as possible. Although sunflowers take time to ripen. But the dark tree has real fruit, and it will mature in a few days. One of the trees has already fixed the entry, and the fruit can awaken the D-level poison type ability, which is a good supplement to the combat power. As long as it is successfully awakened, it will not be a problem to kill black iron monsters. The other trees are refreshed every day, and entries that satisfy Sube always appear. When the power user army began to take shape, his island also expanded a lot. At that time, ordinary people can be recruited to work on the island. It is basically foolproof to be managed by a power user. Sube gathered his thoughts and prepared for action. He also has a chance to fix an entry today and can bring a person back. Thinking of this, Sube didn't care about dealing with the ironclad lizard's corpse, so he called a rock soldier to carry it to the center of the island, and then activated the mark to select the teleportation location. Before Sube asked the special team for the data map of the West City. There are some idle buildings specially for the island owner to transmit, so don't worry about being disturbed. Sube picked a spot and started teleporting. When he regained his vision, he was already in a garden, surrounded by a 3-meter-high wall, blocking the view from the outside. A staff member noticed that the transmission was fluctuating, walked over quickly, and saluted. See the island owner. They don't know Sube, but that doesn't prevent them from paying their respects. Whether it is the apprentice island owner or the official island owner, the status is extremely respected. Sube nodded and greeted casually, then walked out of the garden and started walking down the street. He knows where to find someone. Slum. The reason why people are picked from here is because people here are generally not concerned, and they are orphans in popular terms. Sube can only take one person with him today, and it would be too much trouble to bring his family with him. Unconsciously, Sube's mentality has also undergone a subtle change. The slums in Zygon are large in scale. Fortunately, the environment is still clean and there is no scene of cross-flow of sewage. The buildings here are very tall. There are dozens of floors at every turn. Judging from the interval between the windows, each room is only a few square meters. The distance between the buildings is very small, and even in the daytime, the light is a little dim. The overall environment is depressing. There were a lot of people, but their expressions were a little numb. They sat on the street and looked at the sky, not knowing what they were thinking. As soon as Sube appeared, he immediately became the focus of the audience. As a trainee island owner, and he has the entry for killing gods, his temperament is really out of tune with his surroundings. Many poor people retreated subconsciously. This is an island owner with a respected identity and powerful strength. If these poor people collided with each other and were beaten to death in the street, no one would care. However, some people rushed over, stopped 2 meters away, and shouted eagerly, "Master Island Master, are you here to recruit people? I can bear hardships. Choose me. My mock test is full score every time. My lord, please choose me, and I will kneel down for you. If you accept me, you will definitely not suffer." Sube looked at these people. His expression was calm, and his heart was very emotional. If he fails to become the island owner, will he also become one of them? Restraining his mind, Sube kept giving orders in his heart. Refresh. In his vision, these poor people can refresh the alternative entries. A large number of entry light balls appear. But the colors are normal. It is generally dominated by white, and the appearance of cyan is considered a small probability event. Sube stepped forward. The poor people around were in a hurry. It's not their rhythm. Although I don't know why the island owner came here, these poor people know that if they miss this opportunity, there may be no future. Thinking of this, many people gathered up their courage and rushed forward to grab Sube's arm. For these people, Sube is naturally impolite. Who knows what they will do under their madness. If you fold yourself in, it's a lot of fun. Sube reached out and pushed, and the crowd fell back. Bang bang. The sound of falling to the ground kept ringing. His power is too great for these poor people to stop him. Many ecstatic poor people suddenly woke up and were afraid. The fastest people who rushed before, even rolled and crawled away, for fear that Sube would ask them to settle accounts. They were obviously overthinking. Sube didn't want to care about them at all. Going forward all the way to refresh, looking at the vast white entries, Sube wanted to give up. This is simply looking for a needle in a haystack. But just as Sube was about to return to the island, a bright purple appeared in his field of vision. Epic entry. Advertisement. Chapter 46. Death Saints. Among the white and cyan entries, the purple epic entry is particularly conspicuous. Sube glanced. She is a young woman, looking in her early 20s, with short black hair, and her appearance is not top-notch, but she can score 8 points. About 1.7 meters tall, very tall. Wearing a black leather jacket, his expression was indifferent and indifferent. Unlike others, she did not rush forward. Although there was also desire in his eyes, he restrained himself. His eyes flashed, and he was obviously thinking seriously about how to stand out. She knew very well that this might be the only chance. Island owners rarely come to slums to recruit candidates. The people here are generally ruthless. And most island owners need obedient subordinates, which can minimize the risk. Sube didn't care about that. As long as the entry is fixed, the loyalty will be filled directly, and there will be no worries. Calm down. Sube checked the epic entry. Death Saint, epic, triple the effect of negative abilities. The description is simple and the effect is powerful. Negative abilities, that is, the general term for various abilities such as poison, curse, and shadow. They both have negative effects and thus belong to the same category. The entry Death Saints is very compatible with the Dark Tree. The effect of the ability is tripled, even if it is a D-level ability. It can also play a C-level effect. The only flaw in the ointment is that this entry does not improve the basic attributes. However, this also confirms the power of the mythical entry. It is fundamentally different from the other 6 grades of entries. Putting away his thoughts, Sube walked towards the woman. Although the other party tried her best to put on a calm expression, her slightly trembling body and accelerated heartbeat still revealed her true thoughts. Has her chance come? The surrounding poor were disappointed that they were not selected. Regardless of the others, Sube walked over and asked, "What's your name?" "Du Ling." "Anything to worry about?" "No, I'm alone." "Would you like to go to the island with me?" "Willing." Du Ling did not hesitate and immediately agreed. She knew very well that there was only one chance. No matter what the cost, she must get out of here. Sube didn't say much, just activated the mark on the back of his hand and aimed at Du Ling. Even in Blue Star, the announcement of the island world sounded in Sube's mind. "Sube, the trainee island owner, do you set the target to be island residents? Please note that adding outsiders will increase the risk of monster invasion." "No." Wonder Shen Kingling said that he couldn't recruit 2 powerful abilities. Just adding an ordinary person has reminded me like this, and adding an ability user is afraid that it will be a severe warning. But compared to that risk, Du Ling's epic entry can completely make up for it. "Sure." The moment Sube confirmed, Du Ling's body shook, and she felt the will of the island world. This feeling brought tears to her eyes. After seeing the magnificence and mystery of the island world, Blue Star seems unattractive. But she didn't become a trainee island owner, and she didn't have the money to buy the Fruit Awakening ability. Du Ling knew that it would be difficult for her to return to the island world. It's not even possible at all. As for taking refuge with other island owners, Du Ling thought. But there is no way. In this era, The most important thing is people. She has no advantage. In terms of looks, she can't be considered the top in Blue Star. Not to mention compared to those mysterious races in the island world. Elf, goblin, beast-haired girl. These races will also take the initiative to surrender when facing the top island owners. After excluding her looks, Dueling didn't know what advantage she had left. I thought I would spend my whole life in a slum, but I didn't expect a young island owner to suddenly appear. And chose her directly. Dueling knew that this was her chance. As for why the other party chose her, unimportant. Sube was also quite satisfied with Dueling's performance. In order to avoid trouble, Sube did not fix the entry directly, but prepared to return to the island to fix it again. After selecting herself and Dueling, Sube directly activated the teleportation. The light began to gather, and the poor people around were crazy, and they wanted to try their best. They reached out to grab Sube. But isolated by invisible forces. The mighty power of the island world is beyond the power of those with abilities, let alone these ordinary people. The light flashed, and Sube and Dueling disappeared in place. Thump. Many poor people slumped on the ground in despair. Hope once again dashed. When his vision was restored again, Sube had returned to the island world. "I'm back, I'm really back." Dueling fell to her knees, grabbed a handful of dirt, and kept crying. Sube didn't quite understand this emotion, so he didn't say anything, just let Dueling express her emotions first. After a while, Dueling stood up. "Islander, I haven't asked your name yet." "Sube." "Sube," Dueling muttered. Her eyes widened suddenly, and she said in disbelief, "Is it the first Sube to become a trainee island owner this year?" "That's right, it's me," Sube said. Dueling's eyes were full of admiration, making Sube a little dark. "I had no idea he was so famous." "Lord, Sube, I really don't know what to say, I'm so excited." Dueling was incoherent, and she didn't know where to put her excited hands. Sube waved his hand and said with a smile, "Don't be so nervous, we will be our own from now on. You don't need to call me adults, just call your name, or call the island owner." Dueling nodded again and again. "Everything is arranged by the island owner." Immediately, Dueling couldn't help but ask, "Islander, why did you choose me?" Dueling couldn't figure this out. "There's nothing special about her either. Could it be that you pretended to be deep in the corner before, and it had an effect? If you think about it with your knees, the answer is definitely not this. Because you have value," Sube said. "Value?" Dueling was even more confused. She didn't feel like she was anything special. If it was really valuable, it would not have been eliminated in the first place. Sube waved his hand and said, "You'll find out later." After speaking, Sube looked at the epic entry, "Death Saint," beside Dueling. Fixed. Ding. The entry has been fixed. The loyalty of the other party has been fixed at 100. At the moment of fixing the entry, Dueling felt a mysterious force flowing in her body. But it was fleeting, and even made her suspect that she felt wrong. Raising her head in confusion, Dueling almost fell to her knees the moment she looked at Sube. The one in front of him exudes endless brilliance, as if a god has descended. After calming down, Dueling felt that there seemed to be some kind of connection between herself and Sube. Although it was a little unclear, Dueling believed that Sube would definitely not harm her, so she readily accepted it. And Sube observed for a moment secretly, could not help but secretly startled. The effect of the system is too strong. He saw the fanatical worship in Dueling's eyes. Sube had a hunch that even if she asked Dueling to commit suicide, she would do it without hesitation. I don't know if this is good or bad. Advertisement. Chapter 47. Is the selection so random? Now that Dueling's entry has been fixed, and there is no possibility of it being lifted, Sube put away his thoughts and said, "Follow me." Dueling immediately followed. The two came to the bottom of the dark tree, and Sube pointed to the fruits on the branches and said, "These fruits can awaken poison-type powers. This is for you." While speaking, Sube glanced at Dueling and found that there was intoxication in her eyes. Dueling was surprised and said, "Island Master, I feel that these fruits are attracting me. In this regard, Subei is not surprising. Du Ling's entry is Death Saint, which increases negative abilities. Dark Underworld Fruit is a perfect match for her. To be honest, Subei never imagined that he could find such a potential player just walking around the slum. In the original plan, Subei even planned to spend a few days going to the slums every day. In the end, the treasure was found. Even the epic level entry, it still interacts perfectly with the existing special plans. As expected of me. Subei was secretly proud, then looked at Du Ling and said, "Remember what I said just now, you are valuable." Du Ling was thoughtful. If she still didn't believe it before, then after seeing the dark fruit, she believed it. That kind of attraction cannot be faked. While believing, Du Ling once again raised more reverence for Subei. As expected of the island owner, she knew people with discerning eyes, and she didn't even know that she still had this value. Naturally, Subei didn't know that in Du Ling's eyes, her image became even more splendid. After watching the dark tree, Subei asked Du Ling to find the earth spirit and take care of the plants. There were many common plants obtained from the enchanted island before, and Subei didn't have time to check them all. Just let Du Ling go to see which ones meet the sales standards. Mark them first, then deal with them together. Subei will expand sales channels while developing the island. It is definitely not enough to cooperate with the Special Forces team. Now with Du Ling's help, she will deal with these trivial matters before the dark fruit is ripe. Subei can be a hands-off shopkeeper. Today's 5 entry fixed opportunities have all been used up, and the special plants have also been refreshed. There is no suitable entry, so we can only wait for midnight to reset. Having nothing to do, Subei contacted Shen Qingling and sold the 2 ironclad lizards in a package. Shen Qingling hesitated for a moment, but still asked, "You recruited an ordinary person from Blue Star?" Although Subei had not returned to Blue Star for a long time, the special team had many eyes and ears, and it was not difficult to know the situation. Subei was not surprised, and replied, "I'm going to train a few power users." Shen Qingling asked curiously, "Is the special plant in your hand about to mature so soon?" "Oh, I see, you found it on the Magic Island. You are lucky. Congratulations." "Thank you," Subei replied. "Without the coordinates you provided, I wouldn't have gained so much." "That's your own effort," Shen Qingling replied quickly. "Bronze-level demonized anaconda, let alone a trainee island owner. Many official island owners may not be able to fight. Your strength is amazing." Naturally, Subei would not reveal his cards and replied, "Good luck." Shen Qingling naturally didn't believe it, but this was Subei's secret, and she wouldn't make Subei unhappy by asking rashly. After a while, he sent a message and asked, "What is the fruit yield of the adult plant you got from the enchanted island, and if you have any extra, sell it to me." Subei thought for a while and replied, "I'm not sure if there are too many. If there are, I will definitely not forget you." "Okay, waiting for your message." Shen Qingling knew very well that since Subei returned to Blue Star to shake people so early, he would definitely harvest special fruits soon, otherwise it would be meaningless to bring people to Shanghai now. If there is any excess, she would like to acquire some. Who would think that there are too many power users under his command. But then again, how did Subei confirm the candidate? He was so sure that the Du Ling he brought back had the potential to become a power user. Shen Qingling was a little stunned. In general, to cultivate supernatural powers, first select a group of candidates, and after observing for a period of time, select suitable special fruits to eat. As for whether it can be awakened, it can only depend on luck. Not everyone can be a powerhouse. Some people do not have that potential, and even if they eat special fruits, they cannot awaken. Cultivating powers is a long and expensive process. But Subei is different. The selection highlights one at will. It is estimated that he returned to Blue Star on a whim, and decided to go back temporarily. Then went to the slums and slipped around. It's no big deal. The ghetto man has some flaws, but also has some good seeds. But here's the problem. Bringing only one person back, isn't it a bit too casual? Anyway, bring a few more. At least Shen Qingling wanted to cultivate new abilities, That's what he did. At least a dozen candidates. As long as there is a person who can become an ability person, it is earned. As for the rest, just stay on the island to farm. Don't worry about raising idlers. Shen Qingling was curious as to why Su Bei was so sure that the dueling he brought back could become a power user. There are so many mysteries about this man. Su Bei only tweeted that he thought dueling was talented. This answer left Shen Qingling speechless. After all, it is also to cultivate supernatural powers. Is it too casual to act by feeling? However, Shen Qingling didn't ask any further, just explained some precautions. For example, in the early stage, too many permissions should not be opened, and dueling should be isolated from the means of contact with the outside world. These are all to prevent exposure of island coordinates. Although he didn't say it explicitly, Shen Qingling also hinted that if Su Bei was to guard against dueling, first find out if she was aspiranged by someone else. Su Bei naturally agreed. However, he wasn't worried about this at all. First of all, he made a temporary decision to return to Blue Star, and he chose dueling because her entry was suitable. It is very unlikely that dueling was arranged by someone else. Take a step back, even if there is a real problem. After fixing the entry, this is not a problem. Dueling is absolutely loyal to him and will defend his safety with her life. Even if some organization brainwashed dueling, facing the power of the system, it would be emptied immediately. After a while, the Rock Soldier squad circled back. They have been patrolling around. The leading gem cat saw dueling busy in the field, and his eyes were like copper bells. Meow meow meow. What's the situation? It only went out for a tour. Why suddenly a human being appeared? Dueling also saw the gem cat, and immediately screamed in surprise. Kitty immediately ran over. Meow. The gem cat was shocked and stood upside down, urging the Rock Soldier to run. Its memories hidden deep in its genes are awakened. That is the tragic memory of its ancestors being rubbed in the hands of humans. Advertisement Chapter 48. The storm is coming. In the end, dueling didn't catch up with the gem cat, so she could only go back to look for dueling. She just wants to suck cats. Why is it so difficult? But then again, the cat just now seemed very unusual, and it was able to command the Rock Soldiers. Dueling found Su Bei and asked curiously, "Islander, that cat seems unusual." Su Bei smiled and said, "That's the jewel cat." Dueling was stunned. Although she failed to become the island owner, she also knew a lot about many magical creatures in the island world. Among them is the gem cat. This creature can bring good luck to the island and is very rare. It turned out to be seen here. Dueling couldn't help but said, as expected of the island owner, even the gem cat has been attracted, and the position of the monthly Rookie King must be yours. Su Bei is very calm, and his luck has always been good. For example, with a random swipe, I found dueling with the entry, Death Saint. Thinking of this, Su Bei said casually, "These are all small things, and being able to discover you is my biggest gain today." Dueling blushed pretty and hurriedly ran to find dueling. She has to continue counting mature plants. Su Bei nodded with satisfaction. There are not many such active employees. After more than an hour, dueling came over with a document in her hand. Above are her statistics. Islander, there are about 832 acres of ordinary plants on our island, of which 110 acres are mature. According to the latest price, the total price is about 650,000. Among the special plants, there are 6 dark trees, 2 golden lemon trees, 1 light fruit tree, and 1 blood spirit fruit tree. The rest are special annual plants, 307 golden pink roses, all of which are mature and are expected to be able to extract 400 grams of gold. However, my suggestion is to sell the petals separately. Some high-end restaurants have long-term acquisition of golden pink roses. Top embellishments. There are 34 unpoisonous ginseng plants in total, which can be picked at any time or continue to be planted. The older this special plant is, the higher its value will increase exponentially, and it is worth holding for a long time. The heartbroken grass and snake-eye flower will mature in about 10 days, with a total value of 7.2 million. Thorn vine seedlings take about a month to grow. There are a total of 15-star chrysanthemum seedlings, which can be picked and sold after 2 months. A total of 80 lily sunflowers, which can mature in about 25 days. Island owner, are the lily sunflowers on your island a new variety? I have never seen such high-quality ones. Su-Bei said casually, these scorching sunflowers are quite special and can awaken the level fire-type abilities. Du-Ling was shocked. There is still such a blazing sunflower. How had she never heard of it? As expected of the island owner, amazing. Du-Ling gathered her emotions, and then reported, there are 75 moonlight vines next to them, and they will mature in about 40 days. These are the plants on the island right now. Su-Bei nodded, increasingly satisfied. Du-Ling not only has high fighting potential, but also has solid basic skills. She has finished counting the special plants on the island so quickly. Thinking of this, Su-Bei asked curiously, at your level, you shouldn't stay in the slums. Du-Ling shook her head with a wry smile, and said, Islander, you are really flattering me. This is just a trick. There are many people who are better than me. Other island owners have no shortage of manpower at all, so why bother looking for me? Su-Bei thought about it for a while, and it seemed to be the case. It seems that he still underestimated the competitive pressure of Blue Star. To Curly. At this time, it was getting late. Du-Ling took the initiative to invite Ying and started cooking food. When she saw the piles of semi-finished cooking bags prepared by Su-Bei, she was speechless. The owner of his own island is really too general. Although these can be eaten, the taste is definitely not much better. Su-Bei felt nothing. These semi-finished cooking packages are sent by the special affairs team, and the nutrition is balanced. The taste is not bad either. At least in Su-Bei's view. That's how it is. Du-Ling felt that it was necessary to let Su-Bei know what it meant to eat. When someone cooks, Su-Bei is naturally happy to eat ready-made. While waiting, the gem cat appeared in the distance. It was probably hungry, and reluctantly led the rock soldiers to wander back. However, Du-Ling had chased him for a few hundred meters just now. Obviously, she had lingering fears and did not dare to approach after dawdling in the distance. Su-Bei was helpless and could only make sure that there was no danger in his heart, and then the gem cat jumped over. He jumped on Su-Bei's shoulders in 2 steps, looked at Du-Ling vigilantly, and was ready to run at any time. In a moment, dinner is ready. Su-Bei took a bite and had to admit that it was indeed a little better than what he made. The same as a semi-finished cooking bag. Why is there such a difference? Du-Ling also prepared cat food for the gem cat, which was a preliminary repair of the relationship between the two parties. While eating, Zilu ran over from a distance and danced to Su-Bei. Actually it doesn't do that. Because of the unique contact, Su-Bei was able to know what it wanted to express. The information passed by Zilu also made Su-Bei's expression a little dignified. Du-Ling asked, Islander, is there any problem? Su-Bei pondered for a moment, then said, Little Green said that the water vapor is condensing, and a storm is coming, probably in the afternoon of tomorrow. Storm. Du-Ling's expression also became solemn. Storms in the island world are characterized by fierceness. And it's extremely violent. If one is not careful, everyone will be blown into the sea. That's not the point. The point is, every storm means a massive invasion of monsters. Monsters are also intelligent. Whenever there is a storm, the island will be busy, and this is the best chance for them to invade. Su-Bei's brain was racing. With the presence of water spirits, it can control the water vapor to a certain extent and reduce the losses caused by the storm. There will be planned damage, but it is tolerable. The crux of the problem lies in the monsters that arrive at the same time as the storm. Su-Bei looked at the dark tree. Despite the distance, Su-Bei could still see the fruits on the branches. Reddening, but not nearly enough. If you want to mature, it will take at least 5 days. And the storm will arrive tomorrow. It was too late for Du-Ling to awaken to become a supernatural being. Taking a step back, even if she woke up, she didn't have too much combat power at the beginning. Abilities require constant practice and development. Awakening ability is just the foundation. It is necessary to transform the power of the ability into various forms of skills and develop a fighting style that suits you, which takes time to accumulate. Collecting his thoughts, Su Bei said decisively, "Tomorrow you return to Blue Star, and come back after the storm is over." "No," Du Ling's eyes were firm. "Islander, please let me fight together." Advertisement: if you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 49 Ripening Agent. Du Ling's willingness to fight is very strong. But the strength gap cannot be filled by will. Even the iron-armored lizard of the lower level of Black Iron, the lowest level monster that Su Bei can kill with one punch, is not Du Ling's ability to compete. Unless she can awaken the ability, then with her Death Saint entry, there is still the power of a battle. There is a prerequisite here, the awakening ability. Although the dark tree has fruit hanging, it is in a semi-ripe state. The fruit has no effect until it reaches the mature stage. Even if Du Ling ate all the half-ripe fruits, she would not be able to awaken her supernatural powers. And without powers, she is just an ordinary person, and she may be able to kill a monster with traps or something. But when the storm came, not one or two monsters came, but a dozen or so were considered few. If you are unlucky, there may even be hundreds of them. Du Ling stayed on the island. It was easy to have an accident. Su Bei is not sure. When will the next time he find an ordinary person with an epic entry? Although it can be refreshed every day, advanced entries are hard to come by. He can't go back and forth between Blue Star and Island World every day. But from another angle, if Du Ling can become an effective fighting force, then tomorrow's battle will be much easier. While thinking about it, Su Bei found that Shen Qingling had sent him a message. When I opened it, it turned out to be about the storm. Su Bei, a storm is about to hit some areas. Are you in range? Su Bei's heart moved, and he opened the newcomer chat area of the trainee island owner, and found that many people were discussing this matter. Asango-san too. It's really unfortunate. I only became the trainee island owner this morning, and the storm will come tomorrow. This is not giving me a way to survive. Bangtsai Kingdom Park Buell? Ha ha ha. My island is not in the storm area. You scumbags wait to die. Fusion Kingdom, Ib 16 Lang, Baga. You are really inhumane. You should apologize. Kangaroo Country Lena, how come there is stormy weather so soon? The situation this year is too difficult. Lighthouse Country Richard, everyone, those who know the current affairs are Junji. Don't hold on to the ownership of the island anymore. Sell some of them in exchange for a chance to survive. The sun never sets. Fizz, I agree. Although my island is within the range of the storm, I have already made adequate preparations, and 6 abilities can be teleported at any time. Malzongo Handle, HMPH, coward, a storm will scare you like this. The apprentice island owners were talking a lot, and those newcomers who had not yet killed the monster were also mourning. When the storm came, more monsters appeared, and their chances of becoming a trainee island owner were even slimmer. Even if you get the heart of the island in the chaos, you may not be able to keep it. The greater possibility is to be buried directly in the mouth of the monster. Su Bei was a little surprised. The scale of the storm seemed to be extraordinarily large. It seems to have become the first test for the trainee island owners this year. It is said that Richard is so jumpy that he blatantly encourages others to sell the ownership of the island. This is a typical example of not being able to see the good of others. His heart can be punished. However, Su Bei also knows that cooperative development is a helpless move for many trainee island owners. Better to lose some ownership than to be eliminated. At this point, Su Bei cannot change. Besides, he's got a headache from the storm now too. Plans can't keep up with changes. Unexpectedly, there are candidates for ability users, and the storm came first. Can you still have fun? Judging from the scale of this storm, I'm afraid I'll have to find a way to get Du Ling to join the fight. With this in mind, Su Bei sent a message to Shen Qingling. I'm in the range. Do you have a ripening agent? I have a batch of supernatural fruits that are about to ripen. As a last resort, Su Bei does not want to use ripening agents, which will cause certain damage to the plants. Fortunately, the damage is limited, and after taking good care of him for half a year, he will almost be able to recover. It's better than being swept into the island by monsters and wreaking havoc. Shen Qingling replied, yes, but not many. Many island owners under the command of the special team are also in the storm area, and resources are very scarce. The ripening agent I have is only enough for 3 mature plants. It's a bit small, but it's enough. Su Bei waved his hand. Accounting. Shen Qingling didn't worry that Su Bei would default on his bill, and directly passed 3 bottles of ripening agent over. Su Bei did not use it directly, but took stock of it first. Each dark tree has about 15 fruits. Using all 3 bottles of ripening agent, he guaranteed that he could harvest 40 ripe fruits. Under the blessing of the Death Saint, entry, if 40 dark fruits can't awaken Duling, then more fruits are useless. Su Bei predicts that within 10 pieces, Duling will surely be awakened. Thinking of this, Su Bei suddenly found a business opportunity. He can sell the extra dark fruit at a high price. The storm is coming, and the apprentice island owners are trying their best to get through the storm. In addition to various defensive weapons, power users are the most important. However, if you directly hire an existing ability user, even if you come to fight in a short time, it will bring a lot of hidden dangers to the island. Even if the storm survives, the invading monsters will make the apprentice island owner tired to defend. The risk of cultivating supernatural powers is much smaller. In the judgment system of the island world, ordinary people and supernatural beings are 2 concepts. Recruiting ordinary people will not increase the risk of the island being invaded by monsters too much. The power fruits are arranged in place. As long as there is 1 more power user, there will be 1 more chance to survive the storm. In this way, Su Bei found that not only would he not suffer too many losses, but he could make a fortune instead. Of course, the dark fruit will definitely not be sold. It's best to find 1 or 2 more candidates for ability users, and after awakening, team up with Duling to act. When the entry is fixed, I will go to Blue Star again and bring 2 people back? Su Bei thought to himself. But it seemed inappropriate to go to the slums in the middle of the night. But don't put yourself in it. Su Bei sent a message to Shen Qingling again. Are there any candidates for abilities? Yes, there is a branch of the special affairs team in Zai. I will give you the coordinates. You can choose the person yourself. Thank you. You're welcome. By the way, because of the storm, the special plant seedlings scheduled to arrive tomorrow will not be sent to avoid damage in the storm. No problem, wait until the storm is over. Su Bei ended the conversation with determination in his eyes. Sure enough, everything is up to you. Advertisement Chapter 50 Preparations before the war, called. Su Bei let out a long breath. This storm is both a crisis and an opportunity. Although there were an unknown number of monsters that appeared at the same time as the storm. But monsters also have value. Their corpses can collect various materials, all of which are of high value. If you can get a few magic energy crystals, it will be even better. Su Bei's rank can be raised even higher. The monsters that were killed on the enchanted island before were surprised that they could not find a crystal of enchanted energy, which made Su Bei depressed. Those demonized monkeys are okay to say, but there are no bronze-level demonized anacondas, which is really a big loss. Su Bei almost shut himself out on the spot. But the storm came, and he had the capital to take off again. Looking at the 3 bottles of ripening agent in front of him, Su Bei's brain started racing. 6 dark trees, only 1 has a fixed entry, which can provide the fruit of awakening D-level power. 4. The remaining 5, refresh the entry after midnight, and select the best 2 to fix. If there is no suitable entry, then the entry will not be fixed, and the E-level ability is E-level. The late-stage potential of the dark tree cannot be cut off because of this storm. The best result is to fix the entries of 2 dark trees, so that I have 3 fixed chances left. This time back to Blue Star, bring back 3 people at most. After all, he is a member of the Special Affairs team, and the heart of guarding against others is indispensable. No, before going back to select people, refresh the entries for Shui Ling and Guang Ling, and fix them if there are suitable ones. With 1 or 2 more individuals like Ao Shan, the battle will be much easier. However, Light spirits and water spirits are not fighting races, and even if they receive entry blessings, their effects are limited. All I can say is do your best. After doing this, Subei found that the number of entries he could use was fixed and not many. After learning the news of the storm, Subei was no longer in the mood to eat. He picked up a bottle of ripener and said to Du Ling, "Follow me." Although Du Ling failed to become a trainee island owner, she also knew the effect of ripening agents. Some people said in disbelief, "Islander, are you going to ripen the dark tree?" "That's right." Subei nodded. "The scale of this storm is huge, so be prepared. You will fight as soon as you come, and you won't regret it later." "No regrets." Du Ling's eyes were firm and she said quickly, "It was the island owner who brought me out of the dark slum, and you recognized my value. Although I only came to the island today, I am willing to fight to the end for the island." Subei didn't know whether it was because of the system or Du Ling's real thoughts. But that doesn't matter anymore. The important thing is that Du Ling has a firm will to fight. If so, then he will fulfill her. The two walked quickly to the underworld tree. Subei found the tree that had already fixed the entry, and fell down the ripening agent. The dark green liquid with a unique smell was absorbed by the dark tree. Then, under the watchful eyes of Subei and Du Ling, the fruits on the branches began to turn red at a speed visible to the naked eye. However, Subei was also keenly aware that the leaves of the dark tree were a little wilted. This is the side effect of ripening agents, which consume the vital essence of plants. This is also normal. After all, the ripening agent alone cannot make the fruits of special plants mature in advance, and special plants are required to participate in it. A quarter of an hour later, 16 red fruits hung heavily on the branches of this dark tree. Subei let Xiaoshan fly up with the light spirit and picked the fruit. The dark fruit is the size of a fist, the red skin has black lines, and the smell is a bit pungent. Subei wanted to say that this thing is to awaken poison-type powers. You are a girl, and it seems inappropriate to awaken poison-type powers. But seeing the firmness in Du Ling's eyes, Subei said no more. Besides, the entry has been fixed, and Du Ling's loyalty has been full. It's really unnecessary to say this now. Calm down, Subei said, put away the fruit first and eat it at midnight. Although Du Ling was a little unclear, she still obeyed. Thinking in my heart, maybe at midnight, the awakening efficiency of the supernatural fruit will be higher? But haven't heard anything about it. It is estimated that it is a metaphysics newly researched by the island owner. Since awakening powers are really irregular, many people have researched various so-called metaphysical secrets in order to increase the probability of awakening, in order to reduce the consumption of power fruits. Whether it is useful or not, it is really random. Du Ling didn't know the existence of the system, and only thought that Subei was going to perform metaphysics at midnight to increase her chances of awakening. Thinking of this, Du Ling vowed, "Don't worry, Island Master, I will not disappoint your expectations." Subei wasn't on the same channel as her, just pretending to be loyal and waving his hand casually. "I believe in your potential. Du Ling has an epic entry anyway. If she can't wake up, it's obviously unreasonable. The remaining 2 bottles of ripening agent are wasted when they are used now, and they can only get a level dark fruit. It must be until midnight to refresh the entry, and then ripen depending on the situation. Leave it for now. The next time cannot be wasted. In the case of knowing that a storm is coming, you must not sit still and be fully prepared. Subei came to the high point of the island and had a general plan in mind. Summoning Tu Ling and the 3 splinter bodies, Subei began to point out the country. His island itself has ups and downs, low in the middle and high around. Kind of like a basin. Now prepared to further enhance this terrain feature. Using the ability of the earth spirit, the land on both sides is stacked upright to form a natural defense surface. The 2 ends are left blank. In the case of flat passages, the invading monsters will not be stupid enough to climb hills. It can maximize the defense center of gravity from the surface to 2 points. Then let the earth spirit dig a few big holes at the entrance to reduce the charging speed of the monster. The pressure will be much less. Subei has enough confidence in himself, and with the dragon yin sword in his hand, it is definitely no problem to hold one direction. The other end is handed over to Du Ling and the rock soldier, and Zhao Shan can also follow along. If Du Lin is awakened as a power user, with the blessing of the Death Saint entry, and with the rock soldiers standing in front, and the high power flashbang of Xiao Shan, it will not be difficult to defend the other end. Su Bei calculated for a moment and felt that with the combat power at hand, as long as several bronze-level monsters did not appear to attack at the same time, defense would not be a problem. But don't be too optimistic. There is another hidden danger that needs to be addressed. If there are flying monsters, it is more difficult to deal with. Although most monsters cannot fly during the storm, this situation must be taken into account. Su Bei's heart skipped a beat. He looked at the Longian sword in his hand. If he went back to Blue Star to ask the Special Affairs team to ask for a batch of crossbows, brushed out a good entry and fixed it, and then found someone who was proficient in shooting, wouldn't he have an air defense force? When there are no flying monsters, it can also support long-distance support, which is also excellent. Thinking of this, Su Bei's thoughts suddenly brightened. Advertisement end of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.